Today's story also begins like many others, in an ordinary room where a young man is sitting in front of a computer. On the computer screen, the words "Game Over" appear. The man, Park Hyunmyeong, in the room controlling the character that had just died, grumbled to himself in annoyance. What kind of trash game is this, for real? He was in his room, surrounded by gaming paraphernalia, mocking his life. His own life that was not wise at all. He did not just play games on weekends but also on weekdays when people went to work. A few months ago, after quitting his job, he had holed up in his room living like a game addict. Well, he had been doing that even before quitting, so it was probably the 5th year now. 5 years just burying his head in a single game. He saw his life as legendary in the worst sense and gave it the name Pangenia. Pangenia was briefly popular about 5 years ago. The developers advertised with an outrageous and sweet bait. If you beat the game, we will grant you a dream. Idle people jumped in to try but ultimately everyone failed. 5 years passed, no one had cleared it. The number of players plummeted miserably. Now, if he did not log in, the online player count was 0. Pangenia was famous for its brutal difficulty from the day it launched. He still remembered the complaints from players back then. If you die, you lose all in-game items. Is that fun? I will quit this damned game. Is this game made for dogs to play? They told all kinds of horror stories. Bosses that made you wonder if they were designed to be unbeatable. Teammates betrayed you without warning. Named NPCs would hunt you down if you off-keyed. He remembered that unwritten rule. Named NPCs were the strongest beings in the world. Players could not win against them. If they targeted you, it was as good as character deletion, but the worst of all was the death penalty. If your character died, everything disappeared instantly, meaning death was starting over from scratch. It was truly insane. Because of that insurmountable difficulty, the game's brief fame fizzled out to this extent. Could it be that someone was intentionally preventing players from clearing? His character possessed 8 of the 15 known unique items, now all gone. Were his 5 years disappearing like this? Just as he was sinking into despair, a system notification rang out, pulling him back. Your character data has been deleted due to the death penalty. You have received 1 million soul points. Soul points received when a character dies. Soul points. Are items, everyone. He was stunned. 1.6 million items, unique items sure gave a lot of points. He realized the hundreds of characters deleted so far combined had not even reached 80. You receive items corresponding to the value of the dead character. Items could be invested when creating a new character. The key was, the more items you invested in a single talent, the easier the growth path. There was once an addict who poured 10 into a swordsmanship talent and died with the title, Grand Sword Master. The investment limit for each talent was 10, and now he received 1.6 million items, practically enough to pour into everything. Normally he would choose the magic talent for stable running, but this time he clicked random. After all, he would never clear it anyway. This would be the first and last time playing to his heart's content, then deleting it forever. A memory suddenly surfaced from 3 months ago. He was talking to his girlfriend, her face sad and pitying. I am sorry. Hyunmyeong. He was puzzled. What are you talking about? She continued. You are a good person, but I can't date someone with no future forever. I am at the age where I need to think about marriage. She said all her friends were dating or marrying guys working at big companies. Reputable names. But you. She blurted out and then stopped. That is enough, I am leaving. I hope you live well. Then she turned and walked away. He had loved his girlfriend for 5 years and got dumped brutally. After she left, he quit his lousy job in a fit of rage and locked himself in his room, becoming a game addict. He shook his head and cursed himself. That is enough misery, Park Hyunmyeong. He looked at the random button on the screen. Let us click it. After he clicked the button consuming 100 items, using items to rearrange stats, lines of text appeared continuously. Points being deducted steadily. A flash of light erupted on the screen. What is this? A hidden fragment has been activated. He was bewildered. Hidden fragment, then, a brand new notification he had never seen before appeared. Congratulations on fulfilling the bizarre condition and being invited to Pangenia. He was skeptical. Did Pangenia ever have this kind of notification? At that moment, a scream full of hatred and despair tore through his thoughts. May all the worlds you created burn to ashes, O cruel God. That scream was immediately followed by a cry of pain. What is this? He clutched his head in fear. There was a voice in his head. The screen blazed fiercely, accompanied by a rumbling sound, and a deep, mysterious voice echoed. Oh, being brighter than light, darker than shadow, swirling in creation and destruction. May you find happiness in Pangea. Around him was chaos, overlapping sounds impossible to distinguish. Then a rough, violent voice cut through. You useless slave, get up now. The main character, in a strange body, let out a groan of pain. Another voice threatened, fall again, and I will throw you to the Hydra Dragon to eat. He was dizzy, thinking, Hydra Dragon. Right, he found himself in the middle of a chaotic, hostile place, surrounded by soldiers. He stammered, what kind of messed up situation is this? He looked up and saw a terrifying, gigantic monster in the distance. The man who had just threatened with a whip shouted loudly, what nonsense are you doing? Get back in formation if you do not want to die, do it now. Hyunmyeong groaned in pain, feeling his body stiff, creaking as he moved. He glanced around and after a moment blended into the group of captives. He looked around and thought to himself, that is indeed the Hydra Dragon he knew from Pangea. A chill ran down his spine as he confirmed the ground shaking violently with its heavy footsteps. This place felt familiar. A thought struck him directly. He instinctively opened the status window. Could it be that he was really? The window appeared with stats and a long list of talents. Attribute stats, Strength 12, Stamina 12, Agility 12, Intelligence 12, Mana 12. Below was a series of talents and active hidden traits. He even saw below, Supercontinent Dissolution 6.12%. As supercontinent dissolution progresses, the boundary between reality and Pangea weakens. If supercontinent dissolution exceeds 10%, the first crack will appear. His heart pounded. Am I really inside Pangea? Is this real? He noticed something odd about the stats. Wait, why is every stat 12? He knew the normal range. Stats from 1 to 10 were the normal range based on item investment. Why is it like this? Dense talents, stamina, physique, intelligence, senses, sword, shield, spear, blade, dagger, archery, light, darkness, fire, water, earth, wind, aura, art, knowledge, leadership, observation, 13 hidden traits. A desperate scream cut off his train of thought. What is happening? Someone yelled. They were soldiers of the Desert Queen. The battle began with a terrifying roar. The commander shouted, those dogs have broken the non-aggression pact and attacked. Prepare for battle. If you are careless, you will die. Hyunmyeong heard that. A face made a memory from the game tremble slightly. It is the Snake Princess. Then the system notification rang out again. Main quest has been generated. What? Main quest Step 1, Survive. Rewards will vary depending on the result. Failure is death. Both the in-game body and the body in reality will die. His head spun. Survive, cries of agony and gasping breaths surged like a storm. A rain of arrows flew in, taking the lives of slaves and people around alike. Amidst the chaos, a notification appeared. Hidden trait, Heart of the Bloodthirsty Monarch, has been activated. Heart of the Bloodthirsty Monarch, a linkage trait that only appears when all physical talents are maxed, prevents exhaustion, reduces the chance of being ambushed, and allows for extremely quick grasp of the situation. He looked at the screams and the chaotic scene of battle. The truth hit him with cruel clarity. If he just stood here, he would die. To live, he had to move now. As he crouched down, a man from behind charged, intending to slash down. At that very moment, he picked up a sword. A blinding blue light erupted from the blade, seemingly enchanted by a trait. As the man slashed, he swung his sword to block. Swish, the two passed each other. The other man, his entire body soaked in blood, collapsed. Another hidden trait activated. Weapons Master has been activated. At the same time, another group wielding weapons charged at him. You damned slave! Just as the soldier thrust his spear, Hyunmyeong's sword cleaved the spearhead in two. Hyunmyeong tightened his grip on the weapon in his hand, feeling both surprised and excited at how naturally and expertly he wielded it. Even though it was a weapon he was using for the first time, he handled it like a master. Moreover, he could even see the trajectory of the enemy's sword. He dodged the attack, his focus reaching its peak, feeling as if he could predict the direction of the strike before it happened. After seizing the enemy's axe, he did not hesitate. He immediately swung it down. Fresh blood dyed the surrounding ground red. Seeing this, an enemy soldier covered his mouth in terror. Is this guy a monster? The soldier next to him continued. I thought the entire scouting legion was too injured to fight. A system window appeared. Hidden trait. Due to the effect of skilled hands, your weapon proficiency will increase faster. Sword proficiency has reached level 6. Spear proficiency has reached level 6. The max level is 10, and he was already at 6. Level 6 meant he could wield it like a renowned knight. Is this the power of a hidden trait? Hyunmyeong was stunned, finding it hard to believe yet gradually understanding. Just surviving until now with his level was already over the top. Without the hidden trait, this could not have happened. But even miracles can't last forever. There were at least 500 troops gathered here, and he had to survive among them. My god, what kind of quest is this? This is absurd. Hyunmyeong looked at the dense encirclement around him, his heart bitter and furious because his survival rate was practically zero. Scene changed to another place, a vast, gloomy great hall. A woman's voice rang out. Has the scouting legion to the demon realm failed? Is that correct? The snake princess in the darkness replied. That is correct. Then the woman seated on the throne added, if it is revealed that the desert city of Faisalmer did not participate in the expedition, the fools of the central continent will blame the failure entirely on us. We must prevent that at all costs. Snake princess, you are to go immediately to the Kalsman desert. Kill every survivor of the scouting legion. Erase all evidence showing Faisalmer sent no troops and anything that could connect us to this failure. If you do well this time, I promise to lift your curse. The snake princess gritted her teeth, accepting the order. Her expression was a mix of determination and obsession with the reward. I understand. Then the woman on the throne added, remember well. You must not fail. Back to the battlefield. The sand dust gradually settled. It is all done. There was one slave still holding on. The snake princess asked again. One slave, surrounded by scattered corpses and blood everywhere. Hyunmyeong stood straight, holding his sword, breathing heavily. Then a system notification popped up. Your level has increased to level 2. Hyunmyeong remained standing there, bruised all over but alive. Health and mana had been restored. Fatigue had been eliminated. His body felt refreshed, though his spirit remained heavy. The soldiers prepared to charge and attack, but the voice of the snake princess rang out. Make way for me. Upon hearing this, the soldiers exclaimed, Princess. They were startled by her sudden intervention. Hyunmyeong glanced over and recognized her immediately, his gaze full of bitterness. She is finally here. A character profile window appeared, Isabella Vondijan, level 8. She cannot leave this area due to an abnormal state from the Desert Queen's curse. Stats, talents, skills. Your understanding of this character is too low to confirm. Hyunmyeong assessed the situation. Level 8. No matter how many times he tried, he could not win. Since the max level in Pangenia is 10, the benchmark for distinguishing the truly strong is level 7. From level 7 onwards, the real gap becomes apparent, and the level difference is almost impossible to overcome. Level 8 meant she was among the strongest, practically anywhere. To put it bluntly, she was at the level of a boss from notable factions. Facing her like this was nothing short of a disaster. He analyzed quickly, his mind racing frantically because the situation was so terrible. The snake princess looked down at him, tilting her head slightly with curiosity. HMPH, your performance was quite interesting. But you must die. Her voice was icy cold, decisive like a death sentence. Hyunmyeong stood firm, a flicker of defiance in his eyes. The reason he played Pangenia the game cursed for its extreme difficulty was that no matter how hard it was, he always found a way to beat it. That is right, he was the odd one among the oddballs, and if he guessed correctly. Memories of being a hardcore gamer flooded back, bringing with them a wave of tactical clarity that overwhelmed his fear. Then, just as the snake princess was about to attack, he spoke straight to her face. Don't you want to have the queen's curse lifted? The snake princess's eyes widened, the calmness on her face shattering into surprise and suspicion. She demanded in a low voice, who are you? Hyunmyeong put on an air of mystery, confident as if he knew everything. I have learned the essence of stars and guide humanity to them. I am a keeper of the stars. I can help you lift the queen's curse so you can leave this desert. He maintained a truly supernatural aura, a bold bluff. The snake princess stood frozen, taking a slight breath. Hyunmyeong thought to himself, Keeper of the Stars was a class of NPC that players only encountered after reaching the maximum level. This class was meant for NPCs, so of course he was not a real Keeper of the Stars. But to lift the curse state from the Queen, she needed the blessing of the stars from a Keeper. Stars, because to escape the curse, she was forced to listen. The reason she likely wanted out was simple. Isabella Vondijan was a character I created. He recalled all the in-game data. Alongside that thought, her in-game profile became clear. LV8 Isabella Vondijan was a pitiable character he had abandoned because he chose the wrong starting point. The Queen's Curse, from a player's perspective, was merely a newbie map restriction mechanic, but a player's character was created to travel the world and reach the game's ending. Yet, he had left her trapped here, bound by the Queen's Curse. Isabella regained her composure and asked, "What is your name?" Hyunmyeong answered immediately. Randolph. The system confirmed, "Your character name has been set." The two stared at each other. Then Isabella turned her head and said, "I will postpone killing you for now, but if you are lying, I will tear you to pieces. Escort him. He is a distinguished guest. Treat him with the utmost care." Her words were both polite and a threat. Hyunmyeong exhaled in relief, as if escaping the scythe of death. A series of new system windows appeared. Main Quest 1, Survive. Completed. Compiling record-breaking results. Results are perfect, miraculous even. A newbie's beginner's luck. Luck seems to be smiling upon you. Rewards have been upgraded. The luck thief scratches his nose and says you are not bad. Rewards have been upgraded again. You have obtained Fragment of the Golden Scale. You have obtained Soul of the Water Dragon. You have obtained Michela's Sword. Hyunmyeong sank to the ground, thinking, somehow, I survived. Total points, 220. Your result will be recorded in the Hall of Fame for the main quest. Scene changed to evening at the mansion. He looked at the pile of legendary items that had dropped. Soul of the Water Dragon can summon and control a water dragon. Strengthening may allow learning of hidden abilities via Michela's Sword. The giant knight who slew the first water dragon carried the water dragon's curse and Michela's soul. Stats when equipped, strength plus 20. If used by one who knows honor, activates Michela's power. If all three pieces of Michela's set are collected, can use Descendant of the Sky Dragon. The soul of the water dragon was famous for having dropped only once since the game's launch. Michela's sword was a must-have early game item. He had not expected to get both at the same time. He was incredibly excited. But what was the Fragment of the Golden Scale? He focused on the last item. Fragment of the Golden Scale allows synchronization between reality and Pangenia to be toggled on, off. Can be used within 24 hours at the Golden Scale shop. Synchronization between reality and Pangenia. He was speechless, not understanding this unheard-of function. Later, while bathing at the door, 3 attendants in revealing clothing entered and asked Hyunmyeong, "Shall we bathe you, sir?" He turned his head and answered immediately, "Just wash my feet." Then Hyunmyeong assessed the situation. "Ah, I see. They're Isabella's handmaidens. If I show a reaction, she will become suspicious because a keeper of the stars should not be swayed by desires. Calm, calm, calm." He tried to maintain a cold demeanor and immediately opened the system. On top was the server ranking list. And at the end, a line of text that surprised him appeared, until Pangenia's collapse, 7.66%. As collapse approaches, the boundary between Pangenia and reality shatters. When collapse exceeds 10%, the first crack will appear. Reading this line made him think in surprise, what the hell is this now, the boundary between Pangenia and reality? He saw the rankings and a chilling collapse percentage. A more detailed Hall of Fame window appeared. You can leave your name in the hall according to points earned. Main Quest 1, Survival ranking has been updated. Rank 1, 220 points, Randolph. Rank 2, 195 points, Gracia. Rank 3, 187 points, Minty. Etc. Because you have entered the survival ranking, you have unlocked the logout function. Be careful, as your character will be in a vulnerable state while you are logged out. He froze, his eyes wide with disbelief. Gracia. And the others I used to play with. I thought they quit the game because they suddenly disappeared. So they were also summoned into this world like me. He realized he was not the only one trapped here. And more importantly, the logout function. He could leave here. He could escape this damn game. Hope surged violently within him. Wanting to be alone, he quickly said to the handmaidens, "Stop. Everyone, out. Now. Is it time for you to commune with the stars?" one handmaiden asked, bewildered. "Yes, but the snake princess instructed us to attend to you," she said. Randolph interrupted, his voice urgent, "If I do not commune in time, I will lose all my power. Go ask the princess if she wants that. Tell the princess I will meet her after the communion is complete." He used his keeper of the stars guise to drive them away. The handmaidens bowed and retreated, saying, "May you commune comfortably, sir." Hyunmyeong let out a heavy sigh of relief. Phew, luckily that lame excuse still worked. I was afraid I would be stuck here. But now they are gone. I am escaping this stupid game. He raised his hand and pressed log out. Please place your character in a safe location. Next, if your character dies, you will die in real life. Log out complete. He returned to the real world. Immediately, explosions and blinding flashes. "Ah, help," people screamed chaotically. Emergency broadcast sirens blared, announcing an emergency disaster. An attack of unknown origin at 1432. An alert message was sent to Hyunmyeong's phone. All citizens of Seoul, Busan, Daegu, and Gyeonggi must evacuate to the nearest underground shelter. Dizzy, he looked around. The scene of chaos and ruin replaced all his relief. What is this? Oh my god. Why are there monsters from Pangea in real life? He stood frozen in horror, watching the monsters rampaging through reality. At the same time, a golden scale fragment fell from his body. The memory fragment of what had just happened surfaced from that power. The princess and the game system in reality. Hyunmyeong looked up at the ceiling in his familiar room. He thought, this is my room. Did I doze off while playing the game? He clutched his head with an incredulous look, his eyes full of doubt. Of course, how could that be real? This is not a novel, is it? He sniffed, trying to shake off the bizarre events from the game world. Being sucked into a game, that is ridiculously unbelievable. But the memories were too vivid. Suddenly, his eyes widened when he saw something strange in the room, lying on his desk, a weird, fragmented scale. What the hell, since when has this been in my room? A wave of panic swept over him. The truth of the game hit him head on. Could it be? Does that mean everything was real? He hastily pocketed it in his pants and looked at the screen. What about the game? The screen displayed a page not found, error. He stared at it, turning pale. The game's homepage was gone. It was fine just a while ago. Since when? Right at that moment, from outside, desperate screams rang out. The scene on the street was chaotic. A small figure shrieked in panic. "Help me, a monster," running and screaming, "Run away." The sound of gunfire echoed in the air as police struggled with the monster. Emergency, emergency, unidentified monsters have appeared in multiple locations. Requesting backup. Emergency alerts flashed across the sky, reporting attacks in major cities, Seoul, Busan, Daegu, Gyeonggi, and nationwide. Please evacuate to the nearest underground shelter. Hyunmyeong watched the chaos, completely bewildered and horrified. Why? What is this? How are Pangea monsters here in real life? Don't tell me the boundary between reality and Pangea. He remembered the system from earlier displaying like a countdown, until Pangea's collapse, 7.66%. As collapse progresses, the boundary between reality and Pangea will disintegrate. When collapse exceeds 10%, the first crack will appear. He looked around. What should I do? If game monsters are roaming real life, then maybe I can use game items out here too. He tried to summon an item. A sword flashed into existence and a swirling light like a soul. Michelle's sword. Soul of the water dragon. Damn it, how do I use it? In the game, it is just a double click. Then he looked back at the system. Fragment of the broken golden law. Fragment of the broken golden law allows synchronization between reality and Pangea to be toggled on, off. Remaining usable time at the golden law store, 24 hours. He clenched his fist, recognizing his own limitations. His real-world self could not do anything against those monsters. With a determined groan. He activated the fragment. A blinding light swallowed him, and a system notification confirmed, synchronization complete. Remaining time for fragment of the broken golden law, 24 hours. Scene changed to a tense moment for a family. A mother held her young daughter. The little girl asked, confused, "Mom, where's Dad? Why has not he come?" The mother tried to stay calm. "Dad will be here soon." Yunji, I must. But a loud noise interrupted. She froze in horror. In front of them, collapsing rubble was closing in. The mother screamed. Then, only the stunned child was left outside, watching her mother buried under the debris, crying out, "Mom!" The mother, her body bloodied, still tried to comfort her. "Yunji, Mom's okay. I am fine. Run, quickly." At the same time, a kind stranger rushed over. "Are you alright?" The injured mother managed to reply, "I am fine. Please, take the child. Help her." Yunji wailed, "Mom." The woman hugged the child and said, "I am sorry, sweetie. I promise I will help you." From behind, a monster's shadow drew near. She turned to look. As the monster prepared to strike, she closed her eyes in despair. "Am I going to die like this?" Just as death was imminent, a sharp, cold slicing sound rang out. The monster's entire body was cleanly severed in two. Hyunmyong's sharp, murderous gaze appeared. He unleashed dozens more slashes, completely finishing off the monster. The woman opened her eyes, dazed, thinking, "I am alive." She looked at Hyunmyong's back and wondered, who is this man? Hyunmyong, having synchronized his power, had rushed out to slay the monster. Right then, from behind, another shadow lunged. A monster appeared behind him. She panicked and shouted a warning. "Watch your back." Hyunmyong did not flinch. Just as it approached, a dragon from the game appeared and bit the monster to death. Dragons appeared as if they were his pets. The woman holding the little girl exclaimed in shock. He climbed onto the dragon's head but did not forget to tell her, "Stay put." The scene was both majestic and horrifying. Witnessing this, she was completely overwhelmed, her mind reeling. "Am I dreaming?" She looked up at her savior, trembling, and asked in astonishment, "Who is that man?" Global disaster. Monsters appeared simultaneously, not just in Korea but all over the world. The moment they arrived, they slaughtered people and destroyed civilization. But it was not just monsters that appeared, there were also warriors who could slice through bulletproof monsters like cutting radishes. A burly man holding a shield shouted loudly at the panicking crowd. "Listen to me, don't worry, everyone, I will protect your safety. The monster era has arrived. The world is changing dizzyingly fast, we must all unite." A man looked at those people with contempt. "Idiots. They are wasting the fragments of the broken golden law." This player was Slaughter. Reality and Pangenia were undergoing a comprehensive invasion. Eventually, Pangenia and reality might merge into one. In the coming era of chaos, everyone was each other's opponent. Whoever possessed more fragments of the broken golden law would have more power and become the main character of this era. Furthermore, the Hall of Fame ranking, which had been silent for 2 years, had just been updated. The list appeared. Main Quest 1, Survive. Ranking updated. The man looked at the unbelievable number, the insane score of 220 points. Who is this top ranker, Randolph? Is this guy a phantom, a ghost? Since no one knows his name, that is what people call him. The first person to organize a large NPC expedition called the Great Demon Realm Expedition nearly cleared the game. Memories of the expedition's tragic end resurfaced. Of course, the expedition ended in disastrous failure. The number 1 player of Pangenia was unquestionable. He must have been summoned into Pangenia at the exact moment the expedition failed, because upon death, one is summoned with their strongest character. When summoned, appearance changes and equipment resets, but the talents from the previous character are retained. The only one who could achieve such a high score. Scene change back to Hyunmyong. He was deep in thought. Monsters and summoned players had appeared in reality, all in their Pangenia character forms. I am starting to grasp the situation. The Demon Realm expedition where I almost cleared the game with my final character. The closer I got to the goal, the hired NPCs I had recruited began to sabotage the progress. Even the friendly, allied NPCs betrayed me. Even considering all possibilities, that sabotage went far beyond the game's normal mechanics. But what if those saboteurs were all players summoned like me, players who did not want the game to end, or who saw me as a rival? The danger was very clear. They could be targeting me now, just like before. In that case, with the boundary between reality and Pangenia already collapsing, I can't just keep hiding in a logged-out state anymore. For safety on both sides, I must get stronger. As fast as possible. Hyunmyong stepped forward to face the Snake Princess. She looked at him and asked, "Have you finished communing with the stars?" He maintained his Keeper of the Stars guise and replied, "Yes. I have come to keep my promise to you. But I have one condition. She narrowed her eyes, both curious and wary. A condition, she signaled for the handmaidens behind her to leave. Then Hyunmyeong's voice rang out. Take me to the Holy Land. She stiffened and asked, you want to go to that insane Holy Land? Hyunmyeong was resolute, thinking to himself, if the first main quest was, survive, then the second quest is to, receive a class. Right here, I can obtain it. Then he said aloud, there is a star there, is not there. A quest window appeared, confirming the objective. Main quest 2, receive a class. Rewards ranked by class received. You can receive a class at the Holy Land. Quest ends immediately upon receiving a class. Scene changed to some time later, at a crumbling tower. The Snake Princess alone eliminated the group of people with heavy killing intent. Hyunmyeong looked at her and thought, it took her less than a few minutes to deal with all those guards. Having her as an ally is indeed reassuring. He recalled the exchange just before that. She had repeated his words. A star, huh? Hyunmyeong had narrowed his eyes with certainty and explained, yes. Even though it has been hidden very well. Hyunmyeong sank into thought. The fourth star, which I accidentally found when raising my previous character. I am probably the only player who knows its exact location. Then he had played his trump card, striking directly at her deepest desire. Only by obtaining a star can the curse be broken by the protection of the stars. Scene change back to the present. Hyunmyeong looked down and smiled self-mockingly, feeling he was risking his life. If I had failed to convince her back then, that head rolling on the ground would have been mine. He turned his head and said to her, we are here. This was the Holy Domain. A system window flashed. Side quest, explore the Holy Domain. Rewards received according to exploration percentage. Warning, recommended level for exploring the Holy Domain not met level 8. This place is full of poison and demonic energy. If your magic power is insufficient, do not enter. Hyunmyeong muttered to himself. Originally a place where a level 2 newbie was not allowed to enter. It is protected by an ancient dragon. If not for my hidden traits, I would not even be able to step in here. He reminded himself of his ultimate goal. With the Snake Princess as she is now, if we complete exploring the Holy Domain as a side quest, the rewards will be huge. But right now, it is not about side quests. Main quest 2, receive a class at the Holy Domain. This quest ends the moment a class is obtained. Rewards vary depending on the tier of the class received. Then he told himself, I will be able to receive that class. At the cliff's edge, she looked down, probing her surroundings with a suspicious gaze, then flashed a bright smile, turned to leave and said, seems we took the wrong path. Even adults make mistakes sometimes, right? He stopped her and asked, where are you going? She replied, the bridge ahead is a trap. If you do not know and just cross it, it is designed so the downward wind current sweeps you off to fall. Such a simple trap. Did you think I would not notice? Hyunmyeong cut her off teasingly. Are you scared? I did not expect you to be that type of person. The Snake Princess immediately bristled, her eyes flashing with wounded pride and anger. This body does not know what fear is. Listen clearly. I am called the Snake Princess. Hyunmyeong's smile widened. She is more scared than I thought. She insisted, clearly provoked. I said I am not, she added a feigned excuse. It is most likely a trap. And besides, my leg cramped at just the right time, so there is nowhere safer. She was immediately cut off. Hyunmyeong crouched down and said, then there is no other way. I will carry you on my back. She froze and exclaimed, oh my god, do you want to die? Hyunmyeong brushed it off and continued, you said your leg is cramped and we have no time. Climb onto my back. When dawn breaks and the dead warriors are discovered, if you are not in the right place, you will be suspected. And the Queen's pursuit squad will be formed. Letting me carry you and run is better than being paralyzed by fear. She was speechless, her mind full of indignation. If it were not for the cramp, I would not be doing this ridiculous thing. In the end, she reluctantly climbed onto his back. Hyunmyeong said calmly, all right, hold on tight. Then Hyunmyeong stomped his foot to gain momentum and ran in a different direction. Seeing this, she hurriedly shouted, hey, where are you going? That is the wrong direction, there is no exit over there. A notification popped up. Hidden trait, aberration, activated. Secrets invisible to the human eye. The attribute allowed him to see a transparent bridge appearing before him. Seeing Hyunmyeong running in midair, she frowned and asked, is there a path I can't see? Hyunmyeong confirmed, yes. This is the real path. Doubt arose in her heart. How does he know a path that even I, the second-ranked person here, do not know? Moreover, he is not even out of breath, despite the holy domain's poisonous and demonic energy being everywhere. It is strange to the point it can't just be explained by magic. Hyunmyeong thought mockingly, I did not expect the second-ranked person to be afraid of heights. Hearing that, she yelled, shut up, then she thought to herself. How dare you be so casual in front of me, do you want to die? It is not the characteristic relaxation of the strong, but an overly normal feeling. For a level 2 guy talking to someone of my level as if facing a long-lost friend. She asked directly, have we met before? Hyunmyeong gave an ambiguous answer, his eyes distant. We have not met in the same space. She was even more confused. What does that mean? He continued. It means I have seen you, but you have never seen me. As they charged forward, a gentle layer of magical membrane appeared before their eyes. A domain barrier. Light enveloped them both, and then they were teleported to a place with a clear blue sky and beautiful grassy plains. Hyunmyeong thought to himself, a domain barrier. Only those who follow the secret path and see it can come here. If I remember correctly. Next, from some rocky crevice, a giant golem, constructed from stone, appeared before them, roaring and shaking the heavens. The guardian this time is a golem. Looking at the size and the runes on its chest, it is at least high tier. At my current level, even a light touch would mean instant death. Then he turned and asked her, your leg cramp is gone, right? The snake princess replied icily, as if giving an order. Don't be insolent anymore. Be quiet and watch. The golem lunged forward, throwing a fierce punch. Just as it charged with terrifying speed, she simply flashed a bright smile, and then, wham! The monster's entire body cracked into many pieces and shattered. She added, it will be over soon. Then she drew her sword, her strikes fast, precise, poisonous, and lethal, cutting them down one by one. He watched her fight, genuinely impressed inside. An assassin-type person being this strong. Even though she is a character I raised, it still feels absurd. The golems were defeated. Hyunmyeong looked at the result. Level 8 is truly on another level. He watched the golems collapse with a loud rumble. The system reported, you can receive the class, Golem Artificer. He was startled. Oh, the system counts the kills she made as mine. Does it think we are party members? He evaluated the reward. Control, summon type classes are very rare. Golem Artificer is a pretty good class. In terms of tier, it is at least high tier. A choice appeared, you can receive the class, Golem Artificer. Accept or decline. He clicked decline because there was a class he needed more. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. A roar like thunder echoed throughout the holy domain. The system issued a terrifying alert. The king who is the mountain, where the nameless star is buried, is enraged by the intruders. Hyunmyeong looked at the towering giant mountain, feeling excitement and anticipation. Finally, it is here. The ancient god protecting the star, the ancient king Dramit. The screen flashed with another warning for the user. Warning, the player's level is far below the recommended level for the holy domain level 10. The male lead thought, finally, it has revealed itself. His eyes locked onto the colossal figure that had just emerged before them. The pressure from the presence of that creature was so heavy that he instinctively stepped back. She turned to Hyunmyeong, her gaze suspicious and challenging. This is the guardian of the holy domain. Hey, you are not planning to lead me here and then make me fight the guardian of the holy domain in your place. Are you? Hyunmyeong, despite the terrifying sight, forced a calm, reassuring smile. Don't worry. It looks like that, but it is actually quite docile. It won't attack first. But right at that moment, his memory did not match reality. It lunged with its claws, opened its huge maw and snapped, the snake princess barely dodging and falling to her knees. Hyunmyeong looked at her and chuckled softly. She glared at him furiously, full of killing intent. Then he looked at the snake, Dramit. That is weird, I remember it being a friendly guardian. She yelled loudly. And this is, docile, her voice was strained with disbelief. The giant guardian. A thunderous voice echoed. Challenger of the holy domain, prove you are worthy of defeating me. She was stunned, realizing the situation had completely changed. Wait, I am not the one who wants to challenge you. The guardian ignored her, looking down with contempt. You defeated the golems and still dare to appear. Those who cannot prove their worth will never leave this place alive. The snake struck down hard, forcing her to dash away at top speed. She panicked and replied, "I told you, it is not me." Then, turning to Hyunmyeong, she said, "Don't just stand there, tell me what to do." Quickly, Hyunmyeong frowned, thinking to himself, "When I cleared this place before, I did not fight Dramit. Has something changed? Could it be? Wait, Dramit is a mystical creature. Its body swells and its intelligence increases due to the spiritual energy of the star. The time I cleared this place was when I was raising Wilhelm, a level 10 player. When my 5-star character came to the holy domain with Wilhelm, Dramit obediently led the way to obtain the star. The star, probably because Wilhelm completely met the qualifications it mentioned. In short, it will attack anyone weaker than itself. Back then, I was overwhelmingly strong. What should I do now? There must be a way." At the same time, the snake princess was knocked flying by the guardian, making her think, "Damn it, the demonic energy here makes it hard to move. From the moment I stepped in here, just because I believed his words, was that a huge mistake?" Dramit began to advance, the ground shaking violently. Hyunmyeong knew he could not fight, so he played his last card. He shouted challengingly, despite being only level 2. "Stop, Dramit!" Just as the attack was about to hit her, the guardian halted, tilting its giant head. "How do you know my true name?" He took a deep breath and answered. "Your master, Wilhelm, has returned." Dramit let out a booming laugh, echoing throughout the cavern. "You are Wilhelm, haha." Dramit looked down at his tiny form, brutal power radiating along with contempt. "You are not even prepared. Someone like you is worse than even a golem guarding the gates. Listen carefully. Wilhelm was the mightiest hero, a perfect sage worthy of being my master, lacking nothing. But Sir Wilhelm failed in the Demon Realm expedition. All his stars scattered. That means he died completely and utterly. Even though he has disappeared, a lowly microbe like you has no right to speak his name." He stood still, not retreating even half a step, and threw out his next line. "Respect the covenant you made with me." The moment the guardian lunged, hearing those words made it stop and ask, "How do you know about that covenant? No one is permitted to know it exists." Hyunmyeong immediately recalled the hidden setting of this sanctuary. The one who obtains the star of the mountain where the snake is buried will know the true name of the mountain god and become the new master. The mountain god must obey the mountain lord. The covenant's content must not be revealed to anyone. Anyone who breaks it will be killed by the covenant's chains. Because of that setting, I dared to bluff. Luckily, the game mechanic is still in effect. Just as I guessed, because I am in this body, I am not affected by the covenant's curse. The snake asked further, "Just who are you?" He looked up, confidence returning. "If you want to know who I am, then lead the way. The star will prove it." Dramit's giant eyes were still full of doubt and disdain. "The star will not show mercy to the unworthy. Just getting close, and you will burn to ash." He shrugged casually. "We will know when we get there. What is wrong?" "Afraid the star will acknowledge me and reveal that I am your master." The snake was angered by the arrogance of a level 2 brat and roared loudly. "What gives you the right to be so insolent, ridiculous, a kid who looks like he would die from one bite?" Like that, in the end, Dramit had to yield because of the mention of the covenant. "Fine, follow me, brat. I will lead you to the star. I do not believe for a second that you are Wilhelm, but the fact you know of the covenant means I must deal with you personally. There is no reason to refuse anyway. The star will handle you itself." Dramit led them deeper into the dark holy domain. The snake princess walking beside him suddenly gasped when she saw an altar. "This is..." "Where is the star?" Hyunmyeong confirmed. "Yes. That thing is placed on that altar." He pointed to the skull. "That is the star, more precisely, it is the face of Rhea." She stared in shock at the skull. "That skull is the star," Hyunmyeong continued to explain. "Rhea, one of the twin goddesses of Pangenia, died, and her body was divided into 32 fragments scattered across the continent. Those 32 fragments are called stars." He stepped towards the altar, thinking to himself, when players actually crafted them, they were used as the foundation for boundaries. But as he approached, a pillar of dragon fire suddenly enveloped him. She panicked and cried out, "Hey, are you okay?" Dramit laughed mockingly. "I told you. Just getting close to the star, and a thing like you will burn to ash." So confident, yet in the end, still not acknowledged by the star. "Burn and die, you tiny microbe." Hyunmyeong heard this and gritted his teeth, cursing inwardly. That bastard really said that, but he clenched his teeth and endured the pain. In the game, there was only one case where the star killed a player, when one bypassed Dramit and tried to take the star directly. No matter how I came here, I still passed through Dramit first, so I knew it would be fine. The real problem is whether I will get the class one want. The information said that if you take the star without having a class, you will receive that class. I have never tried it myself, only knew it by chance. Please do not fail me now. He concentrated. Suddenly, a series of potential class names flashed: Master Craftsman, Giant of Fortitude, Golden Bamboo Blessing Beast King, Aberration, Celestial, Durjan's Harmony with Nature, Grand Sage, Glutton, Meritorious Steel-Blooded Monarch, the one who defies destruction. Then the list stopped at a final notification: Success. Demon Power has been converted into Holy Power. Main Skill, Tide Rush, Level 1 and Support Skill, Blessing, Level 1 have been added. Effect, Star Embodiment, all stats have been added. The inheritor will receive greater power depending on the type and number of stars possessed. Even in a transcendent state, the oppressive effect did not disappear. His entire body shone. She stared wide-eyed in astonishment. He absorbed the star. Hyunmyeong, now filled with power, turned to her. His voice was calm yet commanding. When the curse is lifted, what do you wish to do? She was silent for a beat, then answered, her voice subdued yet clear. To leave the desert. I want to return to my bloodline. The Durjan clan. He nodded. The aura of one in authority gradually stabilized. I will bestow a blessing upon you so you may leave the desert. But there is one condition. Hearing this, she grew wary. A condition? He looked straight at her and made his demand. Serve me for 1 year. After that, I will grant you freedom and help you find your bloodline. Hearing this, she paused for a moment. Ah. Remembering the majesty of the queen. Hyunmyeong placed a hand on her shoulder and replied, I am not the queen. I do not lie. She thought for a very long time, then bowed her head in acceptance. I will follow you, my lord. Hyunmyeong replied, a wise choice. And Dramit, the master of the star, is also your master, correct? Dramit, filled with authority yet forced to submit, lowered its head. Yes. He narrowed his eyes and smiled coldly, giving an order. Then bow lower, kid. A final system window summarized the achievement. Main Quest 2, receive a class. Calculating results. Unprecedented results. Results that would make anyone tremble. Total points, 230. Has been updated in the Main Quest Hall of Fame. Newbie's Luck. The lucky constellation is smiling more brightly upon you. Rewards have been upgraded further. The adventurous constellation praises your daring. Rewards have been upgraded further. Several constellations of the Pantheon have begun to take notice of your journey. Scene change to the palace, where the cold, stern queen was ordering her subordinate. Isabella infiltrated the holy domain with a slave she captured. Bring them back here immediately. The subordinate received the order, preparing to act. Scene change to the real world. A group of people are discussing a mysterious player. Could it really be the Phantom? A second person, more confident, asserts firmly that it must be him. Even ignoring the main quest line 1, achieving a higher class acquisition score than Gracia is impossible. Unless that person knows the game inside out. Phantom, the ultimate veteran, has finally appeared. This is going to cause a huge uproar. Red Shirt wonders, can we contact him before the others? The woman replies, how? We have been searching for years without success. Red Shirt suddenly realizes that is because before, Phantom was a virtual player. Now he is a real player. There must be a way. Blue Shirt proposes a fishing plan. How about trying to bait him, since the secret auction house has opened as part of the main quest line 2 rewards? Phantom will definitely use it, right? The woman ponders. He will need tons of items if he wants to top main quest line 3. Fishing can be done at the secret auction. You put up a high-end item for a dirt cheap price. Then, use the twin ability of a certain type of charm to attach a tracking ability onto the buyer. The consequence for the inexperienced. Newbies who do not know this trick often buy cheap stuff, then get tracked, robbed, or killed. Red Shirt worries, but would someone like Phantom fall for it? If he really is Phantom, he knows every charm in the game. The woman counters with a determined expression. Actually, he might fall for it. He failed, but he still dared to initiate the great expedition. That level of decisiveness is completely abnormal. If he sees a good deal on the auction, he might just buy it. If you want to challenge him, by all means, you must meet him at any cost. Even if you get the wrong person, invite him into our guild. Whoever he is, he will join my guild. It has to be me, not one of those other crazy guilds. I wonder what he is like in real life, a CEO, a chaebol heir. A voice rings out from a phone. Hello, if you are in danger, please scream. In a quiet alley, a system window notifies, the rankings have changed. You have fallen off the class acquisition ranking. The Hall of Fame has been updated. Main Quest Line 2, Class Acquisition Ranking. Player Slaughter's rights for Main Quest Line 2 have been revoked. Your eligibility to participate in the secret auction has been cancelled. Slaughter is heavily shocked. Randolph has 230 points. What kind of monstrous class gives that many points? He lowers his head and growls. Looks like I won't be able to use the auction for a while. Not that it matters. Slaughter's eyes flash with a vicious glint. I just need to kill anyone in the top ranks, and I will climb back up. Scene change to Hyunmyeong. At the same time, the side quest to explore the Holy Domain has been completed. Exploration rate, 100%. An unbelievable number even to witness firsthand. You are the first to perfectly explore the desert Holy Domain. Achievement, first conqueror of the Holy Domain obtained. Side quest reward, you have obtained Beginner's Teleportation Book. A magic book that teleports you to a previously explored location. Usage time, 30 seconds. Once per day. Saved location, Desert Holy Domain. Hyunmyeong is riding on the Guardian, thinking to himself, convenient. Riding it is not as uncomfortable as I thought. I can escape the Holy Domain and complete the exploration at the same time. Truly killing two birds with one stone. The Guardian Dramat's voice reminds him. Turning right ahead. A 100-meter slope in front. A notification appears, experience accumulated. Level up. He exclaims, oh, finally level 3. It is indeed slower compared to normal characters. The status window appears. Class, Star Inheritor. Level 3. Strength 36 plus 5, Stamina 36 plus 5, Agility 36 plus 5, Intelligence 36 plus 5, Stellar Energy 36 plus 5. He sighs, looking at the short stat list. The more stats, the more experience needed. My required experience is probably 10 times the norm, but in return, the stat gains are higher, so I can't complain. He shifts his attention to the newly received item. 2 extremely rare items for his current level. One of them is Cloak of Shadows. Activating it turns the wearer invisible. Basically a free stealth skill, not bad. Suddenly, Dramat speaks up. Master, intruders detected within the Holy Domain. Hyunmyeong is surprised. What? The Snake Princess turns to him and adds, probably the Queen's pursuit squad. Hearing this, he replies, well, we have been in the Holy Domain for quite a while. She adds immediately, what will we do? The Queen won't come personally, but the pursuit squad has very large numbers. Even with the Guardian, I fear we can't handle them all. Hyunmyeong calmly replies, Dramat is the warden. Why should we fight? Hearing this, she understands and slaps her hand in surprise. Moments later, Hyunmyeong picks her up and runs, saying, Dramat, I am counting on you. Get to work. The snake hearing this breaks out in a cold sweat. A moment later, from inside, panicked shouts are heard. Monster, a giant sea snake appears in the Holy Domain. Exiting through the gate, she asks, it is probably okay that only we left, right? Hyunmyeong replies immediately, didn't you say the Queen is not coming, then it will be fine. There is no way the entire pursuit squad arrived in time. This is likely just the vanguard. If we get held up until the main force arrives and surrounds the Holy Domain, we won't be able to escape. Their target is us, so it is best to withdraw early. She looks at him and adds, so, you are not abandoning Dramat because he is useless. He explains, you almost misunderstood. Guardians cannot leave the Holy Domain, so only we can run. Then he thinks to himself, to escape from here, we need to use the teleportation gate at the desert's edge. I have lifted Isabella's curse with the blessing, so using the gate is not a problem. The real issue is the gate needs time to activate. She looks at the giant golden gate before them and exclaims, when we cross this place. Hyunmyeong finishes her sentence, yes. Crossing this means leaving the desert. But it takes half a day to activate the gate. During that time, I need to commune with the stars. He thinks to himself, this place is important. But I need to check what is happening in reality. I can't stay logged in forever. Then he asks her sincerely, can I trust you? Hearing this, she draws her sword and turns to guard Hyunmyeong. I will protect you, my lord. Logout process initiated. Please ensure your character is in a safe location. Tip displayed on screen. Be cautious when shopping at the secret auction. Logout complete. Returning to real body. Hyunmyeong reflects, still not used to the feeling of returning from Randolph's body to this flesh. Well, no news alerts or disaster warnings. Seems monsters have not appeared. Reality and Pangea are merging bit by bit, that is for certain. But there is still so much I do not know. As the collapse percentage increases, the boundary between the two worlds weakens. Exceeding 10% means the starting point, the first crack will appear, and monsters will soon flood in. The players existing in reality are also a concern. I need to return to reality periodically to gather information. His train of thought is cut off by a message from his ex-girlfriend. How have you been lately? Hyunmyeong looks at his phone in surprise, unconsciously uttering a name. Kim Seo Yeon. Scene changed to another location. She is on the phone, her face annoyed as she listens to the other side. Don't push your luck. I already bought you clothes and food. What is your problem, huh? She yells back, didn't you flirt with me and say you were rich? Now you are being stingy. What did I say wrong? She hangs up, muttering curses at her new boyfriend and comparing him to Hyunmyeong. That guy was poor but obedient. Seeing him approach, Seo Yeon's attitude does a 180. She smiles and replies, you came early. Sit down. Long time no see. Your aura is completely different. You seem more mature. Hyunmyeong is cold. Why did you call me so urgently? Then he sits down and adds, if you have something to say, say it. I have to leave soon. Seo Yeon thinks to herself, putting on airs, typical poor guy. She starts putting on a sweet tone, bringing up the past. I guess some things never change. You will always come when I need you, even today. That is what I liked most about you after the breakup. I regret it. I miss you. Let us try again. Hyunmyeong looks at a note on the table. Please order a drink per person seated. He sees this and thinks, she called me here and won't even buy me a drink. Without listening to her further, he stands up. If you are done talking, I am leaving. Seo Yeon is shocked. Wait, are not you listening? I miss you because of what happened when we broke up. Back then, Hyunmyeong cuts her off with a fatal question. Does your new boyfriend know you are meeting me? If you are planning to flirt with multiple guys at once, you should delete all your social media photos, not just your profile picture. I am leaving. His words make her entire face flush red with anger. Hyunmyeong walks away. She hurriedly runs after him, shouting loudly, then just listen to me first. The male lead sinks into thought, feeling an unusual calmness. If it were the old days, I would have panicked. Hyunmyeong realizes, don't tell me Randolph's development is affecting me in real life too. At the same time, on the street outside, an enraged voice yells. Damn it, I have been nice to you, and the woman screams loudly, let go, you pervert. He continues cursing. What did you just say? You all look down on me to the end, do not you? I will kill everyone. The aggressive man, red-faced with anger, yells. What are you looking at? Just as he raises a box cutter to slash down, Hyunmyeong steps in and grabs his arm. Seeing this, he yells in interrogation, who the hell are you? The man screams insanely. Hyunmyeong, with a sharp gaze, drops a cold remark. That is enough, you bastard. Hyunmyeong's new strength feels surprisingly heavy. With just one grip, he makes the man's arm tremble. The man harassing the woman screamed in surprise and pain. Hey, why are you interfering in my business? Let me go, he yelled, struggling in Hyunmyeong's grip. He pleaded desperately, wait, I think my wrist is about to break. Hyunmyeong felt a strange surge of power welling up. Even without using the fragment of the golden scale, he felt he had more than enough strength to snap this guy's wrist right now. That was not an illusion. His real body had definitely changed. He flung the man aside as lightly as a feather, then said to the woman, are you alright? A relieved voice spoke up, directed at Hyunmyeong. Thank you. Thanks to you, I am saved. I do not know how to thank you enough. Hyunmyeong looked at the woman he had just saved, raising an eyebrow. She looked back at him and asked, why are you looking at me like that? Hyunmyeong thought to himself. No wonder she looks familiar. She is the woman from before. She hesitated and asked, did you want to say something? Hyunmyeong quickly averted his gaze. replying in a slightly distant tone. You just look like someone I used to know. That is all. The defeated man gritted his teeth and launched a sneak attack, silently cursing Hyunmyeong. You arrogant bastard, die. Hyunmyeong simply stood there. He dodged lightly, completely unfazed, and immediately struck down with his hand. Thud, the man's head was slammed hard against the ground. The woman who witnessed everything was astonished. Scene changed to a moment later. Two police officers stand facing him. One of the officers spoke sternly to Hyunmyeong. You will have to come with us to the station. Hyunmyeong was surprised. What, me? The woman stepped forward to defend him. Wait, this person was only trying to help. I am the one who reported the stalker. The officer remained unmoved. Even so, it is still an act of violence, so you must come with us too. Hyunmyeong argued back, clearly very annoyed. An act of violence, he was holding a knife. Are you telling me I should have just stood and watched? I really do not have time for this. The officer was rigid. We can't bend the rules. Suddenly, the girl, full of authority and sharpness, interjected. If he goes as a witness and gets dragged into any trouble, will you take responsibility? The officer looked up, startled. She introduced herself. I am Kim Hannah, a reporter for the specialized broadcasting channel. The other officer muttered in surprise, that is a major network. Kim Hannah continued, her gaze firm. Instead of harassing an innocent person, you should be taking the statement of the actual victim. Unless you want this incident to make the headlines. A small crowd had gathered. Someone recognized the female reporter. Isn't that her, the one who saved a child from a monster on YouTube? Another confirmed, right, I think she was on TV too. Her name is Kim Hannah. That is definitely her. The first officer sighed again. Alright, then you come with us to file the complaint. Kim Hannah cooperated to leave, then turned and said to Hyunmyeong, thank you for today. Really? Hyunmyeong replied with a slight smile. No problem. Kim Hannah handed him a business card. This is my card. I am a reporter specializing in dimensional warriors. Hyunmyeong asked, confused, dimensional warriors, she cheerfully explained, oh, you know. Those who appeared on the day of the monster invasion. They defeated monsters, so people call them dimensional warriors. She looked at him incredulously. Don't you follow social issues? Hyunmyeong pondered her words. Dimensional warriors. Does she mean the players? It is surprising. Almost no one directly mentions the name Pangea. Probably an interdimensional attack sounds more believable than a video game becoming reality. Kim Hannah continued with a charming smile. Also, if you do not mind, could I have your business card? Suddenly, his ex-girlfriend's voice rang out from a distance, full of fake concern. Are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? She rushed in to hug Hyunmyeong with pretense. Hyunmyeong's reaction was very decisive. He absolutely did not treat her as air and said to Kim Hannah, but I do not have a business card. Kim Hannah looked a little disappointed, but then her face brightened up again. Oh, then can you give me your phone number? Hyunmyeong agreed. Ah, sure. Hand me your phone. Kim Hannah entered the contact information while saying, that is a nice name. After saving the number, she prepared to leave, saying, text me tomorrow. Let us go for coffee or dinner. My treat. Hyunmyeong smiled faintly and replied, I won't refuse. She called out as she walked away. See you later. The ex-girlfriend glared at the departing reporter, thinking furiously, how could you do this to me? You are just a nobody. At that moment, Kim Hannah was walking but focused on her phone. Hello, the voice on the other end replied. Oh, our network's supreme power Kim, having a good weekend. Kim Hannah's voice sounded tired. It is Kim Hannah. Please do not call me that. Then the voice on the other end switched to work matters. Anyway, the deputy director is on a business trip and left a task for you. She asked over the phone. What task? The voice on the phone answered. Interview Gracia. Kim Hannah was stunned. Gracia, the one considered America's savior hero, why assign me someone of that caliber? The voice on the phone explained with a bit of amusement. Don't know. That omnipotent superhero said she wants to meet you, and they want to come to Korea. The scene changes to a vast rocky desert area, where the Snake Princess is holding the line, protecting Hyunmyeong while he is logged out. The ground is littered with scattered corpses. Facing her, a hooded man shouts loudly, Snake Princess, the queen orders you to return, hand over the slave behind you, and we will pretend nothing happened. As soon as he finishes speaking, the whole group charges to attack. Kill that traitorous wench. At that moment, system light emits. A system notification appears. Teleportation has been activated. Teleportation from the starting point is free. A gate glows and swirls. A voice rings out. There is no time left. Hyunmyeong calls her name, offering encouragement. You held out very well. Isabella the Snake Princess looks at him and asks, have you finished communing with the stars, my lord? With a small, understanding smile, the Queen's soldiers yell in rage. Don't just stand there, the instant betrayal occurs. From Hyunmyeong's hand, dazzling golden light erupts. A massive energy accompanies a voice full of conviction. You kept your promise to protect me, so I must keep my promise to you. Another system notification appears. You have used the exclusive skill of the Star Inheritor, Star Spear Level 1. All stellar energy has been consumed. Duration, 41 seconds. He unleashes the power. The people facing him scream in terror and pain. Hyunmyeong looks at the destruction before him with a serious expression. This is the moment of liberation. Rejoice. The Snake Princess watches in astonishment, exclaiming, is this the power of a starbearer? Hyunmyeong looks at her and calls out. Isabella, it is not too late. If you wish to return, I will not stop you. She looks at him with loyalty and determination. No. I will stay by your side. A huge wave of magical energy sweeps over them. A system notification confirms the change. The restriction curse placed on Isabella has been nullified by the blessing of the stars. Connection established. There are 12 teleportation cities accessible from the Kalsman Desert. Destination selected, Central Continent Arcana. Beginning teleportation. Both are enveloped in light as the teleportation completes. Now, they are standing in a dazzling, opulent city, their eyes wide with amazement. A line introducing the city appears, welcome to the Golden City of Arcana. Accompanied by a concerning warning, Arcana is a city where materialism has reached its peak. If you do not possess wealth equivalent to a high-ranking noble, avoid entering the deeper districts. The city is bustling with white marble buildings and crowded with people coming and going. Isabella looks around, overwhelmed. This city is unbelievably luxurious. Hyunmyeong confirms her impression. This is the Golden City. Here, everything can be solved with gold. First, we need to make money. Isabella declares triumphantly, if it is gold, do not worry. I brought 3 gold coins with me. Hyunmyeong looks at the gold coins in her hand with a face full of doubt, then sighs. That is great, it is enough for one night. Isabella is horrified. What, that can't be. In the desert, 300 gold can buy 10 slaves, that is 10 times the price of a priest. Hyunmyeong explains the economic disparity. Prices here are different from the desert. Isabella asks worriedly, so what do we do now? Hyunmyeong, with calm and confidence, points to a white marble building with LED lights, answering with a gallant smile. Why are you so worried? Money is scattered all over the place there. She asks, completely confused. What? Money is scattered. He stands outside the casino, looking extremely confident. Don't worry. I am quite lucky. A system notification appears, confirming his words. Hidden attribute, Gold's Blessing, has been activated. As is known, the Golden City of Arcana also has another name, the City of Depravity. In a world where each major city is its own kingdom, this place, the City of Depravity, has only one law. Here, only money decides everything, which is given particular attention. And the place where all the money of this luxurious city is concentrated is the Hudson Casino. Right at the entrance, a security guard blocked their way. I am sorry, sir, he skillfully refused. Guests without a deposit of 10,000 gold are not allowed to enter. Isabella could not believe her ears. 10,000 gold, she hurriedly whispered to Hyunmyeong. Why did not you say anything about the deposit? After bathing and buying clothes, I only have 100 gold left. Hyunmyeong lowered his voice. Anyway, the money I have is not enough, and clothes are necessary. The guard glanced at them, understanding the situation. If you do not have a deposit, please step aside. People around them started cursing. If you do not have money, get out of the way, can't you see everyone is in line, you beggars, just wasting time. The guard lost patience. Sir, you are disturbing others. Hyunmyeong replied leisurely, I do not have a deposit, but instead, I will use this as collateral. He paused, seeming to assess. This should be enough. In Hyunmyeong's hand was none other than the tear of the Fairy Queen. An immortal jewel crystallized from the Fairy Queen's first tear. It allows for breaking the level limit of equipment. Even if equipment that has had its limit removed is destroyed, this tear will not be destroyed. However, to reuse it, one must complete the quest to revive the tear. Seeing the item, the guard trembled with excitement and immediately bowed in welcome. Please come this way to the VIP room, sir. Isabella was extremely curious. What did you pledge, my lord? He revealed, the tear of the fairy queen a talisman. Hyunmyeong added, it is one of the rewards I received when I reached the holy domain. It is worth at least 1 million gold. She was horrified. You can casually pledge something like that, he answered arrogantly, no problem. We just need to win and use the money to pay back the debt. Inside the casino, the roulette wheels spun continuously. After a moment, the wheel stopped on a specific number. The ball slowly rolled into the slot. The whole area buzzed. He did it again. What the hell is that guy? Insane, a card god, starting with 250 gold, and now. Up to this point, Hyunmyeong had already won over 1.4 million gold. He was immensely pleased inside. Indeed, the gold's blessing trait is the best for money gambling. Isabella standing beside him was also very excited. We are rich, Hyunmyeong chuckled. It is my money. The trembling dealer addressed the guests and made an announcement. We will send back all the winnings. However, from now on, you are not permitted to enter the Hudson Casino. He was quite surprised. So soon, the man hurriedly explained, everyone who bet following you won everything cleanly, causing us great difficulty. As soon as he finished speaking, a series of guards surrounded the two of them. He made a demand. Therefore, please leave. A killing intent immediately flashed in Isabella's eyes. However, Hyunmyeong stopped her. Alright, I will leave. But I have a condition. But first, I need to speak with the owner of this place. The man began to lose patience. Sir, you cannot insist. Please leave quietly. He replied calmly, don't misunderstand. It is not because I am desperate to talk to him. He expressed arrogantly, I mean, your owner will want to meet me. Just relay the message. And to prove it, Hyunmyeong used the skill Observation Hand LV8. Observation Hand LV8 is analyzing the item. His mind was shaken. It is definitely genuine. After all, who would have this? Because as far as he knows, the tear of the Fairy Queen is an extremely rare item held by the Fairy Queen's Knight. The Fairy Queen's Knight is not only hard to find but also requires at least 3 level 10 powerhouses to defeat. This is an item with extremely high acquisition difficulty. He thought excitedly to himself, it is an item I had trouble finding because I could not locate it. I never expected it to come to my door. At the Hudson's room, someone knocked on the door. Mr. Hudson, the person reported suspiciously. What is it? The person outside announced. The man who used the talisman as collateral wishes to see you, Mr. Hudson. Hudson was astonished upon hearing the report. He said that you, Mr. Hudson, would want to meet him. He smirked, finding this interesting. Invite him in. Perhaps we should have a cup of tea. A moment later, the two sides formally met. Hudson observed the other party thoughtfully, silently assessing. Is this the person who pledged the tear of the Fairy Queen? His appearance does not seem like such a powerful figure. Finally, Hudson spoke to start the conversation. I heard you said that I would want to talk to you. May I ask what you mean by that? Hyunmyeong humbly replied, no deep meaning. Exactly as I said, because you would want to meet me. That is why I told him to relay the message. At the same time, he laid his cards on the table. Don't you need the talisman I pledged? He did not hide it either. It seems you have heard rumors about my hobby of collecting rare talismans and came looking. Yes, even if you had not come to me, I wanted to buy back the talisman you pawned and had planned to meet you. Hyunmyeong was also well-intentioned. If you can pay the price, nothing is unsellable. Hudson breathed a sigh of relief. That is really fortunate. He immediately offered a price. How about 2 million gold? I believe this is a very generous price. This price made Isabella dizzy. 2 million gold for a talisman, but it was even more dramatic when Hyunmyeong demanded 20 million gold. Unsurprisingly, Hudson hesitated. 20 million gold is enough to buy a large mansion in Central Arcana. No matter how rare this item is, at most it is only used to make weapons. Do you think it is worth that much? Hyunmyeong remained leisurely. To me, it is not, Hudson refused. But to you, it is. Even for me, I cannot pay such a huge price for a collectible just because of a hobby. Hyunmyeong hinted if it were truly just a collectible, then that would be the case. Furthermore, Hyunmyeong revealed, the tear of the Fairy Queen is not simply a talisman for you. It is an indispensable item for joining the city council. Hudson's silence proved that was correct. The standards are set. The minimum condition to join the city council is to reach level 10. But to break through the level 10 barrier, one must rely entirely on one's own strength. And for a non-combat system person like you, that is a difficult condition. Therefore, you need an item that can remove the minimum stat requirement for equipment, the Tear of the Fairy Queen. Because you must use equipment higher than your own level to compensate for your lacking combat ability. Not only that, Hyunmyeong also knew the reason clearly. Moreover, a merchant who only runs a casino, the reason you want to join the city council is not it to gain recognition from your fiancé Serengeti's family. Hudson became completely pensive upon hearing that name. The girl named Serengeti, the only daughter of the Marquis Weiser family of the Valen Kingdom. In the past, Serengeti was known as the Silver Knight, leading a 500-knight squadron, and was the one who entered the Great Demon Realm expedition with me. However, in the chaotic battle to save me, she sacrificed her legs to the Demon King. My right arm. When I read that, I only thought her action was a plot event. That was before I came to this world, when Pangea was simply a game for a period of time. But after the character Wilhelm died and I arrived here, the moment I realized that those I thought were NPCs could be players. At the same time, I suddenly remembered the words Serengeti had said, if I cannot return from the expedition, please deliver this for me. System notification, you have received Serengeti's necklace. Hyunmyeong was puzzled. What is this? The system introduced in detail, Serengeti's necklace. This is a precious necklace containing a photo of Serengeti and her fiancé Hudson. He was skeptical. Was this setting there originally? Because when I skimmed through Serengeti's character info that I knew, there was no fiancé at all. Hyunmyeong thought of a possibility, a person who influenced the NPC, making it follow given settings. The reason an NPC easily accepts a suddenly appearing setting Hudson. He is definitely a player who has integrated into this world like me. Indeed, the name Serengeti had made him freeze. I have never told anyone. How do you know that truth? He silently speculated that Hudson was probably a player who entered this world long before him. I must extract as much information about this world and about players from this guy as possible. Therefore, Hyunmyeong pretended, I did not know. I heard it. The stars told me. Hudson was astonished. What, you mean you are a star-bearer? Seeing the fish had bitten, Hyunmyeong continued to bait. I am not forcing you to believe, but I can help you achieve what you want. I can help without taking a single coin, as long as you accept one simple condition. He was quite anxious. A condition? Hyunmyeong seized the opportunity. It is simple. Tell the stars the story of your life. After hearing that story, I will decide whether to help you or not. Hyunmyeong even threatened. However, everything you tell must be the truth, because the stars only favor honest people. Hudson began to hesitate. The story of my life, this was within his expectations. He would be very hesitant. A star-bearer is not an NPC one easily meets. But to casually reveal one's information, he would suspect I might be a hunter disguising my identity. In this game, hunters are NPCs who hunt players. They call players sinners and execute them upon discovery. The number of players who died by their hands is countless, and their methods of approach are also diverse. There are many ways to be found out, so the only way is to be careful yourself. Not only that, in Pangea, revealing personal information is akin to suicide, so people usually hide their identities. That is why distinguishing players is not easy. I myself have no intention of revealing my identity either. But even so, I still believe Hudson will definitely accept my offer and has come all the way here. Hyunmyeong was sure of this because, for Hudson, Serengeti was not simply an NPC. He gazed at Serengeti's smiling face, full of nostalgia. Finally, Hudson made a decision. All right. From now on, I will tell you the story of my life. Before telling it, he also made a suggestion. To do that, I must first start with the story of Serengeti. Because most of what I want and strive to achieve is related to Serengeti. Hyunmyeong was startled when Hudson revealed. Serengeti was a brave knight who participated in the Demon Realm expedition led by 8 heroes. Hyunmyeong could not help but exclaim, what 8 heroes? The Demon Realm expedition was led by Wilhelm, Hudson confirmed. Yes. Wilhelm is the most famous one, that is correct. But as far as I know, the Demon Realm expedition was conducted by 8 heroes together. Moreover, Hudson also revealed, the story of the expedition's failure due to internal discord among the 8 heroes is quite famous too. His mind was in turmoil. Internal discord, what kind of nonsense is this now? Hyunmyeong asked in return. Do you know who those 8 heroes are? He answered immediately. Of course, because they are all very famous figures. One of them is someone everyone must respect. The strongest after Wilhelm Gracia. He appears frequently in newspapers, has exclusive interviews. The man riding a monster. Who is he? Scene change. Before that man appeared, we all thought we would surely die. At around 2 p.m. today, a giant unidentified creature, a giant mantis, appeared in the center of Seoul, causing an unprecedented tragedy resulting in dozens of civilian casualties. Right at that moment, the appearance of a man riding a monster carving the sky plunged the entire scene into silence. A witness at the scene, the reporter, said the person writing that article was reporter Kim Hannah. In a room, a secretary entered to report. Mr. Gracia, I have arranged the appointment with Korean reporter Kim Hannah as you requested. Gracia said politely. Thank you. The secretary awkwardly said, excuse me, but may I know the reason you are personally coming to Korea at this time? If needed, I can invite reporter Kim Hannah here. The government wants you, Gracia, to stay in America to prepare for monster attacks. He refused immediately. No need. I must go there personally to confirm something. Perhaps this man. Because Gracia believes that man is the friend I am looking for. He was lost in thought, anticipating the next news. In the real world, Hyunmyeong sat at the dining table, still not over the shock from the game's plot. Hannah, seeing him like that, asked, does the meat not suit your taste? Hyunmyeong awkwardly replied. No, it is not that. Something happened today, so I am just a bit tired. He thought to himself, I only asked about her biography, but I did not expect him to cry and talk all night. Thanks to that, I did manage to get some information about this so-called 8 great heroes. But as a result, I could not log out last night. That is why I was late for our appointment today by 10 minutes. Hyunmyeong said to Hannah, by the way, this place is expensive, right? I am not sure if I should be freeloading off you so shamelessly like this. She immediately replied, last time, you helped me get rid of that stalker. Honestly, this is not enough to thank you. You said it was just something you had to do. Hannah immediately refuted, not at all. That is something only a truly brave person would do. Hannah suddenly fell silent, staring at him. Hyunmyeong asked, what is wrong? She motioned towards a girl in a pink dress with a man sitting behind Hyunmyeong. Hannah whispered, isn't that the girl who was with you back then? She keeps glancing over here. He turned around and immediately saw Seo Yeon. He sighed inwardly. What a coincidence. The guy with her seems to be the one from Kim Young's social media. Hyunmyeong recalled his words to her. Seo Yeon, does your current boyfriend know you are meeting me? If you are planning to manage your fish pond, you should not just delete your profile picture. You should have deleted all your social media photos too. He thought, his name seems to be Young Jinwoo, right? Hannah now whispered. Sorry, if you feel uncomfortable, we can change seats. Hyunmyeong calmly replied, you do not need to worry. We really do not have any relationship at all. Just as he was about to put a piece of meat in his mouth, someone suddenly called out, Park Hyunmyeong. Young Jinwoo stepped forward to interrogate him. Did you follow my Seo Yeon all the way here? He frowned threateningly. Wasn't it enough that you kept calling and harassing her after breaking up? Now you are stalking my girlfriend too, you shameless bastard. Hyunmyeong asked in surprise, stalking me? He immediately replied, yeah, that is right. You bastard. In his bewilderment, Young Jinwoo continued further. I heard last time you even cried and begged to meet Seo Yeon at a cafe. Don't cling on like a leech anymore, you pathetic loser. Hyunmyeong frowned, thinking, it seems I understand the problem now. He looked towards Seo Yeon and saw her smirking with satisfaction. Young Jinwoo threatened him, if you follow Seo Yeon one more time, I will kill you. Got it, you insect-like bastard. Hannah angrily slammed the table and stood up, shouting loudly, excuse me. I have been sitting here listening quietly until now, but are not your words going too far? Young Jinwoo asked disdainfully, who is this now? Trying to act cool for a girl, she is your rented girlfriend type. Hannah immediately yelled, what did you just say? Young Jinwoo asked contemptuously. How much did you get paid? Looking at your appearance, probably around 50, I will pay double, so be sensible and get lost. Hannah retorted, I am the one who made the reservation at this restaurant, and I am treating him because I received help from him. How dare you open your mouth and talk nonsense like that? Young Jinwoo grabbed a stack of bills and threw them in Hannah's face. He smirked, what is wrong? 100 not enough. How about 200 then? He continued to mock her in her anger. Well, why do not you dirty people move to another table? She frowned tightly and slapped him straight across the face. Hannah muttered, frowning, this is insane. Young Jinwoo gritted his teeth and said, you started it first. He raised his hand to strike Hannah directly, clenching his teeth. The moment Young Jinwoo's hand was about to hit Hannah's face, Hyunmyeong tripped his leg, causing Young Jinwoo to fall flat on the ground. Hyunmyeong glanced at him and said, stop there. You are not acting decently either. Young Jinwoo was furious, his face red. He gritted his teeth and roared, you. This guy, a hand suddenly pressed against his face. Hyunmyeong pressed his head to the ground and said, I said stop. Young Jinwoo was terrified, thinking to himself, what, why is this guy so strong? Is this human grip strength? Seo Yeon angrily yelled, what are you doing? This is so embarrassing. Get up, quickly. Hyunmyeong calmly asked, what should we do? Should we go outside and end this conversation? Young Jinwoo growled and shouted, you are something else. Hyunmyeong spoke up, you started the trouble first. Don't make this exhausting for both of us. He thought angrily, this insect-like brat dares to make me lose face in front of Seo Yeon. He fumbled in his jacket pocket while sneering inwardly. You messed with the wrong person. He suddenly crushed something in his hand. A flash of light made Hyunmyeong astonished. He frowned, wondering, light, the onlookers around them also buzzed with discussion. What is that, insane? The situation changed. Young Jinwoo was clad in a set of armor. He stood up and grabbed Hyunmyeong by the neck. People around shouted, he is a dimensional warrior who transformed, did he really transform? Young Jinwoo glared at Hyunmyeong and said, keep talking big. He threw Hyunmyeong's body to the ground. Hannah panicked and called out, Hyunmyeong. Hyunmyeong was dazed, thinking, I did not expect him to be a player. But Hannah looked at him in astonishment, wondering, why does he look so calm? She kept calling, Hyunmyeong, wake up, Hyunmyeong. Hyunmyeong lay on the ground, lost in thought. I definitely saw him transform. But why do I feel fine? Did he go easy on me? The system appeared. Hidden trait, Great Pretender, activated. Now Young Jinwoo looked at him disdainfully and questioned, think you are the center of the universe? I was just a bit careless. And you dared to humiliate me? An information window appeared before Hyunmyeong's eyes. Young Jinwoo. LV4 class, merchant. He silently assessed. He has a class but is only level 4. Hyunmyeong recalled Panginia's leveling system from memory. For levels 1 to 10, each stage has a gap in the amount of experience required to level up. He pondered, additionally, the amount of extra experience required depends on the number of talents the player possesses. The more talents owned, the higher the character's performance, but leveling up becomes slower. Hyunmyeong thought of his own and Young Jinwoo's experience bars. Of course, Young Jinwoo belonged to the fringe group with a meager number of talents. He reasoned, however, the reason Young Jinwoo's progress is so low is simply because he has never really fought before. Young Jinwoo, originally a newbie, from the first day he unexpectedly synchronized with Panginia until now, had done nothing but run away. Hyunmyeong thought, he survived the main quest thanks to a few lucky encounters. I can imagine the moment he leveled up and obtained the merchant class. Hyunmyeong thought, after getting a fairly high-tier class thanks to another stroke of luck. He continued thinking, he could probably log out as a reward for making the rankings. He never returned to Panginia again. Hyunmyeong still lay on the ground, thinking, I do not need to look to guess. Not everyone starts with a heart of the iron-blooded monarch, like me. Adapting certainly is not easy. Seo Yeon rushed towards Young Jinwoo. She hugged his arm and said, that is enough, let us go. Everyone is watching. He said disdainfully, yeah, my mood is ruined. Let us go. Before leaving, Young Jinwoo turned around, then uttered a threat. Park Hyunmyeong or whatever, thank Seo Yeon that you are still alive. Don't cling to Seo Yeon ever again, got it? Hyunmyeong just silently watched him. He thought to himself, a player who shows off to the whole world, wasting his remaining golden law time like that. He won't live long. Hannah ran over and asked, Hyunmyeong, are you okay? He sat up and said, I am fine. She said angrily, let us call the police and have them arrested right now. Hyunmyeong immediately stopped her, just let it go. We were the ones who acted first anyway. Hannah was surprised. What, you said that was nothing. So let us just finish our meal. The ground suddenly shook. People in the restaurant panicked and shouted, earthquake, Hyunmyeong thought, this feeling. The cracks are starting to appear. A swarm of monsters charged into the restaurant. Hyunmyeong wondered, is the invasion starting again? Hannah exclaimed in shock. Monsters. She panicked and screamed, run, quick. Hyunmyeong rushed over, covering her mouth and saying, wait a moment. He looked at the monsters smashing things around and the panicked people running out of the restaurant. Hannah, after a moment of silence, realized, they are not attacking people. Hyunmyeong frowned, thinking, should I call it lucky that the chit bugs appeared? They are scavengers at best. As long as we do not attack first, that thing won't appear. At that moment, the monsters also rushed towards Yoon Jinwoo and Seo Yeon. She hid behind Yoon Jinwoo and screamed, do something. He raised his hand, creating a flame, then aimed it at a monster. Hyunmyeong inwardly cursed, this idiot. He shouted to stop him, don't attack. The flame pierced through the monster's body. However, the monster's body dissipated. Yoon Jinwoo was astonished, wondering, one hit. He created another flame, thinking, maybe I am stronger than I thought. He threw the fireball at the swarm of monsters and shouted, I will kill all these damn monsters. The people around cheered. As expected of a dimensional warrior, everyone ran towards that area. Yoon Jinwoo laughed excitedly, grinning widely. He thought, have I been worrying for nothing all this time? Turns out they're nothing special either. Hyunmyeong coldly told Hannah, run as far away as possible. She asked, confused, huh? He looked at the monsters' bodies that had turned into mincemeat and said, from that idiot's direction. A crimson mist suddenly appeared around Yoon Jinwoo's group. Hyunmyeong continued, avoid it as far as possible. The citizens murmured in surprise, I can't see ahead because of the fog. Yoon Jinwoo frowned, thinking, what kind of fog is this, appearing so suddenly, damn it, visibility is blocked. I can't see anything. A hand suddenly emerged from within the mist. A pair of hands covered Yoon Jinwoo's eyes. A pair of crimson eyes stared straight at him. It spoke amidst Yoon Jinwoo's terror. Who? The monster's entire body erupted with killing intent. It questioned, you killed my child. An information window appeared. Elite monster, Chima, has appeared. Recommended number of players for raid, LV6. 20 people. The monster giggled. Kill them. A black mist enveloped Yoon Jinwoo's entire body. It continued to laugh loudly. Everyone covered their mouths, coughing and choking. What the hell is this? Someone cried out. The fog. I can't see anything. At that moment, a red light suddenly flashed in Yoon Jinwoo's eyes. He raised his hand, creating an energy spear. His eyes were crimson. Yoon Jinwoo said coldly, die. In his eyes, that citizen was a terrified, struggling monster. Yoon Jinwoo uttered, you monster. A system window appeared. Effect of chit bug's blood has activated abnormal state. Hallucination. The spearhead thrust straight into the man's body. He screamed in terror, why are you doing this? Bright red liquid immediately splattered everywhere. Just before Yoon Jinwoo's spear touched the man, Hyunmyeong appeared before him. Hyunmyeong directly severed the arm holding the spear. Yoon Jinwoo stared wide-eyed at his own wound. Hyunmyeong stepped forward, ignoring Yoon Jinwoo's cry of pain, and spoke. If I could avoid it, I really did not want to get involved. But you should not cross the line. The black mist swirled around him. Hyunmyeong said calmly, come out. Wriggling bugs were crawling everywhere. They gathered in one spot. The elite monster immediately laughed. It appeared before Hyunmyeong and praised, not bad. It stared at Hyunmyeong, then laughed loudly. There is a human here who looks quite tasty. The system appeared, elite monster, Chima Ba. Hyunmyeong silently frowned. Inside the red mist, Hannah called out in panic, Hyunmyeong, where are you? Hyunmyeong, she suddenly heard footsteps. Hannah called out loudly again, Hyunmyeong, she mumbled in confusion, Hyunmyeong. Inside the mist, Hyunmyeong kept moving around, dodging the monster's attacks while counter-attacking. Hyunmyeong thought, luckily, the Chima Ba's mist has blocked their sight. It gave me a chance to transform. But just because I have transformed does not mean this is an easy fight. He frowned, thinking, if I did not know its attack patterns beforehand. Hyunmyeong frowned, looking at the monster's body, and thought to himself, I would be mincemeat by now. The monster roared in astonishment. Strange. Your physical stats clearly are not that high. How can you dodge all my attacks? It looked towards Hyunmyeong, who was charging, and loudly questioned, You move as if you already know my attacks. He gritted his teeth and ran towards it. The monster's body transformed. It sneered loudly, Useless. Hyunmyeong jumped high, swinging his sword to sever a series of the monster's tentacles. He landed on the ground. Hyunmyeong thought, after Chima Ba's dodge sequence comes. He gritted his teeth and spun around. A rain of strange liquid struck him directly. Hyunmyeong thought, blood spit. He quickly grabbed a nearby table. Hyunmyeong used it to block all the liquid rain and thought, if that stuff touches me, I will get an abnormal status. The moment the rain stopped, Hyunmyeong sliced the table into pieces and charged at the monster. A tentacle suddenly attacked him. Hyunmyeong tilted his head to dodge. The tentacle retracted. The monster said admiringly, I did not expect you to remember even that move. It did not spare its praise. Amazing. Your dodging skills are extraordinary. The monster confidently declared, but what is the point, if your attacks can't reach me? Hyunmyeong spoke up. Don't worry. He took out a stone and said, I will pierce your head soon. The system appeared, used the talisman, Tear of the Fairy Queen. His feet were enveloped by a pair of boots. A notification appeared, equipping, Shoes of Hermes. Stats are lower than requirements. Tear of the Fairy Queen significantly reduces the equipment requirement for Shoes of Hermes. A set of armor enveloped his body. The system appeared again, equipped, Michella's armor. Equipped, Michella's helm. Hyunmyeong gripped his sword and took a defensive stance. The system reported, activated Michella set attribute. Sky Dragon Seal. Activated, Shoes of Hermes attribute. Acceleration. Hyunmyeong thought, luckily, I bought these at the secret auction beforehand. And sorry about this, Hudson. If I could avoid it, I really did not want to use the Tear of the Fairy Queen. An attribute window appeared, Shoes of Hermes, Wind Swiftness. Shoes modeled after the feet of Hermes, the wind god. Rumored to be from the Temple of Wind. The wearer can run as fast as the wind but cannot enter the Temple of Wind while equipped. Requires all stats of 40 or higher. The talisman, Tear of the Fairy Queen, reduces all stat requirements by 20%. Agility +3. Activates, acceleration. Hyunmyeong quickly charged towards the monster. He thought, even so, I will keep my promise. No matter what happens. The system notified, used the talisman, Tear of the Fairy Queen. A tentacle stabbed straight towards him. Hyunmyeong's eyes widened in surprise. He immediately retreated, avoiding the attack. Hyunmyeong stomped the ground. Cracks immediately appeared. He launched himself straight at the monster. He frowned tightly, staring at it. He flew behind the monster. Hyunmyeong raised his sword. The monster warily turned around. It roared, You bastard! A series of spikes on its back immediately shot straight at Hyunmyeong. He swung his sword, knocking the spikes away. Hyunmyeong slashed straight down, cleaving through a large spike. He looked up, glaring at the monster. A series of tentacles it controlled focused their attack on Hyunmyeong. A tentacle sent Hyunmyeong flying. He gritted his teeth. The pressure from the blow made him cough up blood. His entire body was pushed far back. From behind him, the armor suddenly sprouted something jet black. The system displayed the Michella set attribute. A pair of dragon wings grew from the armor. The system notified, activated, Sky Dragon Seal. The monster opened its maw and roared. You still have tricks up your sleeve. It shot a stream of black mist towards him. It yelled, You cowardly rat-like bastard. Hyunmyeong flew high, dodging the mist stream. He frowned, thinking, this is Chima Ba's final attack sequence. He continuously flew around, dodging, and told himself, as long as I endure this attack. The mist could not get anywhere near Hyunmyeong's body. The monster growled, No way you could remember even this move. It shot a crimson energy orb at Hyunmyeong. It cursed, Die, you little mouse. The energy stream immediately enveloped Hyunmyeong's body. The system appeared, resonance effect of Sky Dragon Seal, and acceleration, activated. Fierce wind, activated. The wings stirred up a gust of wind, instantly dispersing the energy stream. The monster's eyes widened in astonishment. You used wind to disperse my poison. Hyunmyeong panted from exhaustion while thinking. Chima Ba has 4 attack sequences: dodge, blood spit, spike shot, and poison mist. After using all sequences for a brief moment, he thought, Chima Ba will enter a confused state. Hyunmyeong looked at the monster and recalled, while confused, Chima Ba is incapacitated. However, once the confused state ends, the next cycle begins with enhanced moves. He tightened his grip on the sword and charged at the monster with all his speed. Hyunmyeong thought, therefore, this is the only chance to win. The monster panicked and roared, wait, Hyunmyeong charged. Sword light flashed. He plunged the sword into its head and said, I told you. Bright red liquid erupted everywhere. Hyunmyeong repeated coldly, I will pierce your head. A furious whirlwind of rage enveloped the figure, trampling the monster. You have defeated the elite monster child Mamba. Contribution, 100%. Absorbing fragment of the broken golden law. Remaining time, 10 minutes. Remaining time for fragment of the broken golden law, 47, 56, 39 seconds. Until Pangenia's collapse, 9.1%. You have obtained lucky dice. The onlookers saw the mist dissipating. Hannah, in a state of chaos, looked around with frantic eyes. What is this? Is it finally over? What just happened? She caught sight of a figure grabbing a white cloak. The reporter girl, full of suspicion, recalled what had just happened moments ago, that man from earlier. Hannah intended to approach, stepping forward while calling out, excuse me, are you the one who saved me last time? Do you remember me? The gaze from within that cloak turned towards her. You are safe now. At that moment, a notification appeared, effective invisibility cloak activated. The reporter girl reached out her arm, wanting to hold onto something, but right then, the figure teleported away from that spot. Please, talk to me a little. Hannah could not do anything in time and could only watch its back with a surprised gaze. In the space, only she remained with the dissipating smoky trails. A pair of boots appeared from another direction. The reporter girl was startled when she heard a call from behind. Hannah, Hyunmyeong appeared from behind with a white cloak, his face beaming. Hyunmyeong, he scratched his head and spoke up. I finally found you after we got separated in all that chaos. Hyunmyeong awkwardly approached and inquired, are you injured anywhere? Hannah, without overthinking, cheerfully replied, no, I am fine. Suddenly, her eyes widened, sparkling more brightly. Meanwhile, he was still talking while scratching his cheek with a finger that had a smear of blood, feeling relieved to see her safe. I did not expect us to get caught up in something like this. Today must not be our day. Hannah, being sharp, noticed and pointed at his finger. Hyunmyeong, are you injured? Only then did Hyunmyeong realize it, but he brushed it off. It seems some monster blood just splattered on me, do not worry. Inside, he was a bit flustered. Damn it, I did not notice the blood got on my fingernail. Hannah, however, was different. Her mouth suddenly fell silent because she felt something odd. His clothes were completely clean, but only his fingernail was stained with blood. It was unusual. She did not hesitate and spoke up clearly and decisively. Hyunmyeong, when the monsters first appeared, you were also extremely calm. Could it be that you knew what they were? For the first few seconds, he was silent, not knowing how to answer, but then he put on a thoughtful expression, rubbing his chin with his hand. Me, calm, everything was so chaotic. I think I just blurted out whatever came to mind. The reporter girl immediately caught him in the lie and was indignant. What, liar? You were completely calm. But he still tried to maintain an innocent face as if nothing was wrong. No way. Actually, I was scared to death. Hannah had no evidence and could not refute it, so she backed down. He is very suspicious. Hyunmyeong immediately became her target, and she kept pondering. Acting as if nothing happened and appearing right after the man who saved me disappeared. Could it be that he is? The next day, sunlight streamed through the iron bars of a closed window. Not long after the first dimensional battle occurred, another dimensional battle took place again. On that door, a notice was posted. Some members of the Dimensional Warriors warned that these attacks would continue in the future, temporarily closed the door, and expressed the view that long-term cooperation with the government was needed. And that peaceful neighborhood also had no pedestrians passing by. As countless citizens stayed home due to anxiety, the streets became truly empty. On the online screen, a presenter was speaking seriously about the issue. In response, some citizens expressed dissatisfaction, believing the government's subjective reaction, declaring there would be no tragedy like the previous incident, was problematic. Regarding the government intentionally downplaying the damage level, it could lead to a large number of secondary victims in the second-dimensional battle event. Scene changed to a meeting room. Several representatives sat solemnly around a table. A man with a shaved head glanced in one direction. They were too indifferent during the first invasion, and now they are making a fuss. Another man in a vest, with scars, was much calmer. Back then, those not directly affected probably could not clearly perceive that a monster attack was something completely beyond normal reason. Another girl, looking intently at her phone while following the story outside, said, "Because it is beyond normal reason." No one knew how to respond, so perhaps the government initially tried to maintain a normal state. A cold, deep voice echoed in the room. But with this incident, everyone must have realized that an invasion can happen over and over again. And right at that moment, a young man who looked talented and youthful wore a blue hoodie. "This is the perfect time for us to announce the launch of our alliance." His real identity was the leader of the Player Alliance, Hero of the North Tuo. His voice was still dominating the meeting. Other alliances are probably thinking the same, so we need to recruit talent quickly. From the girl looking at her phone, an opinion was also voiced. "We are checking the recording footage you mentioned earlier. A sword being thrust hard into flesh, causing blood to splatter. It is from a clip, so it is hard to see clearly. But if he really killed Child Mamba alone, this man could be Randolph, who took first place in the new main quest." Everyone's eyes turned towards a man sitting at the end of the row who had been silent until now and spoke up. "But did not they say Randolph just completed main quest 2? If so, he is at most level 4 or 5. How could he equip the shoes of Hems?" A hand gently stroked the armrest of the chair that had been under pressure for a long time. "It is very likely he used some kind of talisman. Let us skip those details. He is definitely the person we need." The face of the round-faced man glanced over and listened attentively. And after the phantom disappeared, this man appeared. "We can't be sure, but it is highly probable that Randolph is the phantom." Tuo lowered his eyebrows, his expression serious. "We can't trust other player alliances. No matter what happens, we must draw him to our side." A voice that seemed to pierce the head made a man's face turn pale, intending to prevent the upcoming crack. At that moment, Hyunmyeong sat with folded arms, his gaze also serious. "So, you mean you already used the tear of the Fairy Queen?" The man who had just slammed the table and shouted, loudly asked. Hyunmyeong did not hesitate and calmly stated, "Yes." Hudson moved closer, speaking rapidly into his face. "Why did you do that? Weren't you planning to give it to me?" Hyunmyeong did not back down and remained firmly committed to his decision. "I said I would help you. I never said I would give you the tear of the Fairy Queen." Hearing that, he paused slightly. "What?" Hyunmyeong looked directly at him, his words not showing any worry. "You do not need a few talismans to achieve your goal. I am just removing it so you do not cling to that meaningless hope." And inside, he already had an intention. "No way I would admit I used it because I needed it to defeat Child Mamba." Hudson looked at him angrily, wanting to probe. "So you mean there is another way?" Hyunmyeong looked at that face and teased him. "Your face is full of doubt. I am hurt." Hearing this, he became even more irritated. "How can I trust you right now?" Hyunmyeong smiled slightly and crossed his arms. "Follow me. I will give you a reason to trust me." Slow footsteps in the darkness. Now, the three of them were walking into a dim area with only faint lights above. Arcana, the Golden City, underground sewer dungeon. Hyunmyeong looked back and explained. "The place I am taking you to is the sewers." Hearing this, Hudson, though following, was still puzzled. "Why are we coming to a place like this?" Hyunmyeong confidently smiled and stated the plan to wash away his doubts. "Also, before going there to fulfill your wish, I want to create a teleport point in Arcana." A thick, old-looking book with an appearance that seemed to have magic circles. The teleportation book one got from Dramit. "It is really convenient, but it is quite annoying that I have to increase the exploration rate every time." The system had mentioned this book. Teleportation book, a magic book that teleports you to a previously explored location. Incantation time, 30 seconds. Usable once per day. Registered teleport point, Desert Holy Domain. And knowing that, he had intended in his mind to explore all of Arcana. "But with the time we have, that is impossible, so I will settle for the sewer dungeon." Now, after walking a considerable distance, Hudson suddenly stopped and exclaimed loudly, "Wait, are we really planning to explore the sewer dungeon with just the three of us? It is too dangerous." He was worried about something and urgently informed them. "The worms that live here are monsters. It is a dungeon raid boss. You need at least 6 level 8 players to dare try it." His footsteps stopped at the edge of a chasm. Hyunmyeong boldly smiled towards the two, even though he already saw 2 crimson eyes ahead. "I know a giant rat with 2 crimson eyes and a drooling mouth. The dungeon raid boss monster. Mutant sewer rat has appeared. Recommended raid party, LV8. 6 people." The pitch-black eyes of the monster flashed with a spark of light. Its wide, multi-toed foot stomped the ground, causing it to crack. A surge of green energy blasted towards them. Each of the 3 had different expressions as they saw the energy slashes passing right over their heads. Hudson was anxious and somewhat intimidated each time he saw the rat monster, a monster that used speed as its attack weapon. Normally, the basic tactic is for 6 people to form a full party, corner it, and hunt it. But we came in here without any preparation. That rat used its sharp gaze and charged with rapid speed. He thought, what the hell, doing such a reckless thing? Hyunmyeong remained very calm, turning around and lightly reminding Isabella. Isabella did not need a verbal reply. Her face darkened, and she quickly charged towards the rat in the 10 of the clock direction. Its eyes widened upon seeing her icy cold face. Hyunmyeong did not need to lift a hand, just watched as the rat was beaten to a pulp. If you grasp its pattern, its speed does not matter. In front, Isabella focused intently, aiming for the rat. Of course, that was only possible because Isabella was a character whose combat ability had been raised to a level completely different from ordinary characters. At that moment, Hudson was sweating profusely, his eyes wide in disbelief at the scene. He was startled when he heard Hyunmyeong call his name. "Hudson." Hyunmyeong looked straight into his eyes while clenching his fists tightly. "I will keep my promise to you. No matter what happens, do not doubt me." The corner of his mouth curled into a smile, his gaze firm and resolute. "If I say I can do it, I definitely will." Hearing such words, Hudson could only be speechless with surprise. The scene shifts to another location, where a subordinate approaches and reports to the man standing there. "Captain, I have checked the entire surrounding area, but there is absolutely no trace. It seems even the people in the building at the time were completely unaware. That man is the Alliance captain, the hero player Son Jang." He scratches his head and sighs, saying, "This is truly unpredictable. Like ghosts and gods." The subordinate asks Son solemnly, "Should we go see Jin Woo again?" Hearing this, he seriously replies, "Forget it, he seems to have lost his mind. He went mad from the shock of having both arms severed. Going to see him again would just be a waste of time." Indeed, Jin Woo now seems like his soul has been snatched away, his spirit completely unstable. The two continue walking, the subordinate following behind, asking curiously, "What about Kim Hannah? She seems to know something." Son leisurely responds, "So, you mean we should charge into the broadcasting station?" The subordinate quickly corrects himself, "Not that, but we could wait at the entrance." Son seriously warns him, "Don't touch her, it is too troublesome." Faced with this warning, the subordinate grows even more curious and asks, "Does Kim Hannah have some backer?" Son turns his head to look at him and asks in return, "Do you know about Gracia coming to Korea?" That subordinate obediently nods. "Yes, that matter is driving all Korean players crazy." Son nods, satisfying his subordinate's curiosity. That personage will personally conduct a one-on-one interview with Kim Hannah. The scene shifts to another location. Kim Hannah is standing opposite Gracia amidst a flurry of camera shutter sounds. He looks down at her from his height advantage, not speaking for a long moment before finally saying, "Gracia here." Kim Hannah, with a tense expression and sweating profusely, speaks, "It is a great honor to meet you. I am Korean reporter Kim Hannah." Back to Son's location, the subordinate foolishly asks, "Why, did he fall in love with her at first sight?" Son does not turn around, only leisurely says, "Who knows?" In short, this idiot says do not poke the hornet's nest. As Son walks forward, he thinks, Gracia, without the Shadow Monarch, is the strongest player in name and reality. Such a figure personally coming to Korea to interview a small-time reporter, honestly, I am curious too, but if it involves Gracia, it is best to stay as far away as possible. Even slightly offending him would crush this entire alliance to dust. Even in thought, he dares not harbor a single disrespectful idea about Gracia. Cut back to the dungeon. The space is stained with fresh blood. A young man is slumped against the wall, a long streak of blood behind him. A cold voice sounds from above, "Finished already." That young man grits his teeth and says, "What kind of trick are you trying to pull? Player versus player PK is forbidden in the real world." That cold voice sounds again. "Forbidden, who says?" The man on the ground shouts, "Lord Gracia himself, preparing for the invasion, declared PK between players forbidden in reality. And if Lord Gracia finds out..." He has not even finished speaking when the cold, firm hand of the man before him shoots out and clamps over his mouth. The other man plunges a knife into his neck and says in a low, fierce tone, "Then tell Gracia to come save you right now, idiot." In an instant, blood once again dyes a large patch of ground red. The man finishes the job and turns to leave. Bloody footprints stretch across the ground. Simultaneously, the system announces a ranking change, registered on the class ranking board. "Congratulations! The player Slayer has obtained the benefits of the secret auction." The man walks away laughing, discarding his disguise. He thinks to himself, "Randolph, he must be the Shadow Monarch. Otherwise, there is no explaining the points he has accumulated. He definitely won't hesitate to immediately challenge the main quest. Fine, I will wait there. We will meet again soon, Shadow Monarch. You will definitely die by my hand." The more he thinks, the more twisted his expression becomes, the long scar on his face tightening with hatred. The scene shifts to another location. Something has clearly happened. A large open area is obscured by swirling dust. Before the sand can even settle, it is disturbed by a large, strange foot with sharp claws. From behind the curtain of dust, a monster with multiple heads and crimson eyes emerges from the haze. Behind that monster, two blurry human figures appear. Park Yun stands with his arms crossed, frowning at the monster. He thinks to himself, "What rotten luck." The initial goal was just to register a teleport point at the sewer dungeon. Earlier, his group had dealt with a mutant rat monster, its blood splattered everywhere. Park Yun takes out a dazzling, glittering stone from the rat monster's body. Information about the glittering stone quickly appears: mutant rat monster core. Unidentified core material that caused the rat monster's mutation, if fed to beasts, can cause mutation. Occasionally used as material for special tools or equipment with hidden properties. Possessed by the Beast Lord for strengthening beast souls. Looking at the stone's info, he can't help but marvel inwardly, never expected to find evolution material for the water dragon. Thanks to this, we will arrive sooner than planned. After pondering for a moment, he turns to ask the man opposite him, "Hudson, have you settled the casino properly?" The man, asked this, immediately replies, "Yes, I have handled everything as you instructed." He lowers his head, his voice steady, "Though it is a pity about the casino, if I have to leave for a long time, it can't be helped. Compared to marriage with Serengeti, that is nothing. Besides, without me there, the surrounding scum would not leave the casino alone anyway. More importantly, I have decided to trust and follow the Fate Weaver." Saying this, a trace of emotion flashes in the depths of his eyes. Hudson ponders silently, and above all, the girl named Isabella hunted the mutant rat monster alone, quite formidable. But this person's actions are as if he foresaw everything. He must be an extraordinary person. If I miss this chance, who knows when I will have another such opportunity. Yun quirks the corner of his mouth, gives a faint smile, and then says, "Is that so? Then there is no need to worry about money anymore." Inwardly, he commends, "Good thinking. Now we can focus wholeheartedly on leveling up and walking the path of the Fate Weaver." Isabella, sitting to the side, thoughtfully reminds, "I can hear your thoughts, you know." Hudson breaks out in a cold sweat and hesitantly asks, "So, where are we going?" Yun hears his question and asks with surprise, "Haven't I told you?" "Yes." Hudson nods in reply, "I do not recall hearing it." Yun answers solemnly, "A masterpiece that will fulfill your wish." A masterpiece to realize Hudson's request and also the starting point for main quest number 3. We are going to the Spirit Tower. Time passes quickly. Lush green forest begins to replace the sunny, windy desert. Yun's group disembarks from the carriage one by one, looking around at the verdant forest. Hudson looks around, puzzled. Is this the place? To an ignorant person like me, it just looks like a normal forest. Yun stands before a tree and says gravely, "It is not a normal forest. This is the entrance to reach the spirit tower. The enchanted woods where the spirit trees grow. He stands before a large, seemingly healthy tree. He thinks to himself, spirit trees are where spirits are born. The tree where a spirit is born has the ability to open a gate to the spirit world for a limited time. And only by entering that path can we reach the spirit tower. He steps closer, placing a hand on the massive trunk. His inner thoughts reveal, however, this tree has been dead for a long time. In Yun's perception, this tall trunk is essentially a hollow shell, cracked and empty inside. But this does not seem strange to him. Yun stands there silently, thinking, not just this tree, but the entire forest is dying. It seems no new spirits have been born in this forest for quite some time. Not ideal, but it can't be helped. As he thinks this, he draws his gleaming sword, aiming it at the tree before him. Witnessing this, Hudson asks with a mix of curiosity and concern, Fate Weaver, what are you planning to do? He does not answer, only tightens his grip on the large sword, then spins and delivers a direct slash. With just a basic slash, the tree is cut in two under the astonished gazes of his two companions. The tree falls heavily, the powerful shockwave from the attack creating a faint whirlwind. Hudson is utterly bewildered, stepping back a few paces and exclaiming, is that okay? Just now you said that tree was the entrance to the spirit tower. The more he talks, the more panicked he becomes, unaware that something dangerous is swooping down to attack from above. From the shadows, a hand gives a light flick, causing an intense beam of light from the mysterious object to descend directly towards Hudson's head. However, Isabella reacts extremely quickly, drawing her sword and lunging forward, protecting him and deflecting the fatal blow with a swing of her hand. But things do not stop there. The attack was so powerful that her hand is severely injured, and the enemy before them shows no sign of relenting. A leisurely voice sounds from among the large branches, even-toned yet full of authority. I did not expect that to be blocked. Not bad, human woman. The man with white hair and the authoritative voice is none other than the Lord of the Whispering Woods. The Level 9 High Trent. Hudson, sitting on the ground, sees the figure and exclaims in utter astonishment, impossible, a High Trent. The High Trent standing above says in a stern tone, I thought you were merely lost travelers, so I generously opened a path for you to pass through the forest. Yet you dared to cut down a spirit tree. His words carry an unspoken threat, and now he is not alone. You lot truly have no fear. As soon as the words end, the forest guardians, level 7 wood sprites, appear, surrounding the entire spirit tree area. Yun's group quickly assesses the situation, at least over 50 of them. Isabella frowns tightly, calculating inwardly, if that many attack simultaneously, there is no hope. In the worst case, we must get the Fate Weaver to escape. While she is anxiously calculating, Yun steps forward from behind, his voice ringing out. Don't vent your anger on the wrong person. I am the one who cut the tree. If I had not done that, how long were you planning to hide before showing yourselves? Hearing his words, the High Treant's brows furrow, this madman. Yun looks up at them and says, come down. I want to talk to you. The High Trent, 100% ready for battle, immediately raises his bow, his crimson eyes aiming an arrow at Yun as he roars. We refuse. Yun shows not a trace of fear, instead speaking very calmly. Do you intend to just watch this forest die? As soon as these words are spoken, the High Treant's hand involuntarily pauses. His eyes widen in astonishment. What? In response to that astonishment mixed with suspicion, Yun steps forward, looking straight into his eyes and saying with confidence, I will revive this dying forest. As if to add credibility, Yun seriously analyzes, there are no spirits left in this forest to breathe life into it anymore. If no new spirits are born, the entire forest will die soon. You understand this best. Open the gate to the spirit tower. I will give this forest a spirit. Hearing this, the High Trent frowns and retorts, nonsense. Even if we open the gate, the spirit tower is a place only the chosen can enter. He stares at Yun, questioning sternly, are you saying a person like you can enter the tower? Asking these questions, he does not believe it himself. It is truly impossible. Originally, to enter the spirit tower, one needs related talent, completes countless quests, and must experience countless coincidences to overcome the extremely low probability of entry. Among gamers, the number who have entered can be counted on one hand, let alone entering at his current level. That is not even a dream. Of course, that is if Randolph were a normal character. Facing the High Treant's hesitation and disdain, Yun does not say much but directly activates his hidden trait nature's friend. He says sternly, "Shut up and open the gate. I will take responsibility and save this forest." The High Trent, facing Yun Myong's confidence, also hesitates slightly and asks, "You say you will save this forest?" The other forest guardian spirits are not as easy to talk to. They roar fiercely, "Kill him, destroy the wood sprite, death to him, death, shoot him." Hudson and Isabella stand amidst the growls, unable to suppress their unease. The clamor does not stop, echoing throughout the spirit forest. "Death to him, kill him." Suddenly, a large hand is raised high along with a command, "Cease." The other spirits, hearing this, freeze in place, not understanding what their leader intends. The High Trent no longer stands still but jumps directly down from the high branch. He walks up to Yun Myong, stares at him for a moment, and then finally speaks those words. "You must keep them." Having the High Trent place his trust in him, Yun Myong does not waver. He smirks and replies, "Don't worry, because I always keep my promises. I will return the spirits to this forest." The High Trent still speaks with half belief, half doubt, "I do not expect you to succeed. I just think waiting to kill you after you fail is not too late either. Follow me." With that, he turns and leads his group deeper into the forest. A moment later, the group quickly arrives at a point within the forest. At a glance, no one would think it is a gate, as it outwardly looks just like a pile of rubble gathered together. The High Trent stands before the pile of stones and gravely introduces it to him. Now, with the forest dying, the only way to open the tower's gate is to use fragments of this spirit stone. He looks at Yun Myong and seriously warns, "Remember well, if you fail, you will immediately become fertilizer for this forest." Yun Myong crosses his arms over his chest and asks loudly, "And what if I succeed?" The High Trent, with a cold, sharp gaze, answers sternly, "Then I will bestow upon you a fitting reward." The moment the agreement with the High Trent is reached, his system quickly displays a notification, "Side quest, return the spirits to the forest." Reward, title, Friend of the Grove, the forest's gratitude. Failure penalty, 30 reputation, hostility with the forest. Reading the failure penalty, Yun Myong feels his blood boil. Hostility with the forest, sounds grand, does not it? Before he can think much further, the High Trent raises his hand and announces loudly, "Prepare yourselves. From now, I will open the teleportation gate." As soon as his words end, an intense beam of light erupts directly from that gate. The light envelops Yun Myong's entire group. The light is indeed blindingly bright, forcing Hudson to shield his face with his hand, though it still can't block the light completely. Simultaneously, the system information rings out again. A teleportation gate leading to the spirit tower has been created. Only those granted permission may enter. Before the three of them now is a vast halo of shimmering starlight, incredibly magnificent. Hudson, brought into this space, is utterly astonished and exclaims, "This is..." He turns to Yun Myong in confusion and asks, "Fate Weaver, have we entered the spirit tower?" Yun Myong quickly corrects him, "We are inside the teleportation gate leading to the tower. To enter the tower proper, we must first receive permission from this place." Hudson looks around, utterly bewildered, and asks further, "Permission, from whom?" At that moment, a round orb with innocent eyes appears right before the group. Seeing it, Hudson whispers, "A spirit, is it enough to just catch that one?" Yun Myong answers loudly, "Number." Hudson looks at it for a while and then says softly, "It looks rather cute, though." Yun Myong does not respond further but stands still, staring at the round orb before him. The round orb also looks back, its gaze sweeping back and forth over the three of them. It peers deeply into Yun Myong's eyes and then solemnly declares, "I sense the aura of a druid. I will grant you permission to climb the tower." Simultaneously, the system notification sounds, "Hidden trait, nature's friend, of the druid has been activated." It then asks, "Are those people behind you your friends?" Yun Myong seriously replies, "Yes." It asks further, "Comrades to whom you can entrust your back in your life?" He answers leisurely, "Consider it so." After finishing its questions, it turns and leaves, its even-toned voice ringing out, "All right, then I will grant permission to enter together. However, the tower's gate you must enter separately." As soon as the words end, the bodies of all three begin to dissolve. This situation leaves Hudson utterly bewildered. Isabella also mutters in question, "This is..." She looks towards Yun Myong and promises solemnly, "I will return soon." Fate Weaver. In contrast to Isabella's calm, Hudson panics and shouts, "My body is disappearing." The round orb announces loudly, "Time flows differently in reality and within the tower, so climb the tower with peace of mind. Good luck, O druid." After saying this, it too turns and vanishes into the shimmering gate behind. The system's quest log opens simultaneously, the information written very clearly. Main Quest 3, Climb the Tower. Mysterious towers are scattered throughout the world. If you climb one of them, the main quest will be completed. Rewards are granted based on suitability. Tip: it is recommended to first climb the basic towers located in cities. At the same time, Yun Myong has been transported before a door that looks incredibly bizarre at first glance. He stands before that gate, feeling a bit gloomy inside, and thinks to himself, "It has been a long time since I have seen the spirit tower again, but what is this gate?" The more he looks at the gate, the more he feels something is incredibly strange. Some information about this quest also comes to mind. To enter the spirit tower, one must pass through a gate. That gate varies in form depending on the climber's elemental affinity. When I created Isabella, the elemental affinity chosen was wind. In other words, for Isabella, it will be a wind element gate. And Hudson has a water affinity, so he will encounter a water element gate. Each gate created in this way presents the most suitable test for the tower climber. This is what those people could know about this tower climbing journey. Returning to reality, he looks at the door before him, his brow slightly furrowing, and thinks to himself, "But this is a gate of an element I have never seen before. Is it influenced by having an affinity with all elements during character creation?" Before he can figure out the reason, the door bursts open an eye, staring straight at him. As if possessing a soul, it scans Yun Myong from head to toe and then exclaims in a loud voice, "How surprising, an existence compatible with all elements. Water and fire, light and dark, even elements that cannot coexist, you possess them all. Is it the void element that fuses all elements together? But calling it void is a bit excessive. It is true chaos. Enter. The name of the gate you must overcome is the Gate of Chaos." As it speaks, the door opens slowly, with a hint of heaviness. Yun Myong steps 1 foot inside, and the door kindly reminds him, "Oh, you who have opened the Gate of Chaos, never opened even once before, be careful. If swallowed by chaos, you will never be able to return." As the words end, he fully steps inside the gate. The initial view is not as terrifying as it seemed from the outside. He looks at the tightly shut door at the end of the splendid corridor and thinks to himself, "The Gate of Chaos." Yun Myong silently recalls, "For the past year, I have played Pangea almost without a day's rest. To say that as the gamer who has played Pangea the longest, I hold more information about this world than anyone else, is no exaggeration. Yet, in this Pangea, there are still countless things I do not know. A game so hellishly difficult it is unconquerable, yet it always fans the flames of the desire to conquer. In Pangea, there exist mysterious realms, and mysteries still exist like this. That is precisely why I can't bring myself to hate this game." Returning to reality, Yun Myong quirks the corner of his mouth into a smile, muttering smugly, "The Gate of Chaos. Open for the first time, huh?" He excitedly draws his sword, saying with great interest, "Then this time, I will be the first to conquer it." The moment the sword is drawn, a shadowy figure with silver-white hair appears right before him. The space is no longer lit but has shifted to a deadly darkness. The silver-haired person just stands there motionless, not turning around for a long while. After a long moment, he slowly turns his head, his face with tightly furrowed brows looking very formidable. This face astonishes Yun Myong immensely. He thinks to himself, "Wilhelm, why does the character I painstakingly nurtured appear in this test?" Before his thoughts can yield an answer, Wilhelm bursts forward at speed, pointing his sword towards him. In an instant, that cold blade can almost accurately target the artery in his neck. But in that 1,000-pound hanging by a hair moment, Yun Myong manages to squat down in time, avoiding a fatal blow. He quickly regains his composure. Yun Myong grips his own sword tightly, thinking to himself, "The matter of Wilhelm appearing as a test can be dealt with later. Don't tell me I have to fight that top-ranked guy." He swings his sword forward for a direct thrust, but his opponent, for some reason, enchants his own sword with light. Yun Myong's mind is now utterly bewildered, thinking, "I had to defeat him." The enchanted sword begins to swing straight down towards his head. Yun Myong looks at the sword hovering above him and silently screams inwardly, "This was clearly created to be unconquerable by players." Wilhelm grips his sword, his massive figure menacingly looming over Yun Myong's shadow. This suffocating situation makes him unable to restrain an inner roar. Pangenia, this damn game. The scene shifts to this side, the sword is plunged forcefully into the ground. A moment later, Yun Myong suddenly slashes at his own arm. He is equipped with the Mashella armor, Mashella helmet, and Hermes boots. Thanks to this, he also realizes the sword cannot completely sever his arm. This means the attack power of his opponent and his own defense are not too far apart. Yun Myong carefully observes, are our ability stats really on par? Shortly after, the system notification appears. Effect of the Mashella's Heavenly Dragon set activated. Effect of Hermes' Divine Speed Boots activated. At this moment, a thought occurs to him, if it is just imitating the appearance. Immediately, Yun Myong activates it. The resonance effect Tempest between Heavenly Dragon and Divine Speed is triggered. At this moment, the burden in his heart can also be let go. There is no reason to fear. That guy, after being knocked far away, collides heavily and creates a large explosion. As the dust gradually clears, his arrogant face is revealed. A moment later, the silver-haired man frowns slightly. Yun Myong, holding his sword, charges straight down from above towards him. The silver-haired man quickly stands up and gently tilts his head to one side. Only now does he finally move his lips to question, here to reclaim past glory. Struck in his sore spot, Yun Myong can't help but freeze. Noticing this, the silver-haired man attacks. Is that feasible? Yun Myong does not answer, merely extends his arm. The next second, he grabs the man's head. What nonsense are you pulling? The silver-haired man widens his eyes and turns to counterattack, but Yun Myong angrily finishes him off. That damn fake. His head is now separated from his body, rolling on the ground. Now, Yun Myong takes out a potion, using one health potion after another. The next second, without hesitation, he drinks it, and the wounds from earlier recover. He gently wipes away the droplets still clinging to his chin and sighs. Lucky I used Hudson's money to buy health potions. A while later, other copies appear again, their eyes glaring at Yun Myong full of hatred. Facing this situation, he feels even more fortunate. If I had not brought them, I would probably regret it to death. Cut to the real world, the red building. In a luxurious room, a voice rings out, let us conclude the interview here. Kim Hannah bows her head and says in a low voice, thank you for coming all this way. Gracia politely replies, not at all. He frowns slightly, since the interview is over. I have a private question I would like to ask reporter offer the jot. Please turn off the recording. Hearing this, Kim Hannah can't help but feel a bit surprised, ask me. Gracia says seriously, yes, just a simple question. Now, recalling as he asks, the man who appeared in the exclusive report written by reporter Kim Hannah. The man riding the monster's back. Who is he? Before that man appeared, we thought everyone was dead. Around 2 p.m. today, a giant unidentified creature, a giant mantis, appeared in the city center, causing dozens of citizen casualties, creating an unprecedented situation. At that very moment, the appearance of a man riding a monster that tore through the sky caused the scene to fall into momentary silence. Witness present at the scene stated. Reported by Kim Hannah. Gracia's eyes show clear curiosity as he says this. Tell me about that man. Everything you saw that day, not missing a single detail. Cut back to the in-game world. The scene now looks very gruesome. At this moment, a cold gust blows. Yun Myong stands at the center of the battlefield. At this moment, his body is also exhausted. Yun Myong's eyes show clear fatigue, his breathing ragged. How much time has passed? Seems like I have faced no less than 100 of them. Quite tiring. Thinking this, he immediately drinks a recovery potion. The fortunate thing is they are no longer being summoned, and there is no sign of a way up. Perhaps this is the highest floor already. A moment later, Yun Myong forcefully throws the empty potion vial to the ground. Now there are no more health potions left. Hope this means I have passed the trial. A while later, the corpses on the ground begin to dissolve. Witnessing this scene, he can't help but startle in alarm. Now they turn into shadows, then fly swirling above Yun Myong's head. Chaos power has no effect. What are you? Exactly, not human, a druid, ah, right. Never expected anyone to climb all the way up here. With one look, he recognizes them, chaos spirits. Your appearance means I have conquered the chaos tower. Hearing this, it smirks, conquered. They laugh loudly and continue flying around Yun Miang. The chaos spirit utters mocking words. How laughable. Do you think someone like you can conquer this tower? As soon as the words end, the wall before him gradually opens. The tower's trial has not even begun yet. A blinding light prevents him from seeing what is on the other side. What lies beyond is the start of the real trial. It leans close to Yun Miang's ear and whispers, "Just getting here has left you battered and broken. Do you think you can pass? That thing was not originally created to be overcome." At this moment, the scene beyond the room is also revealed in its narration. Beyond are hundreds of the chaos phantoms you just faced, their numbers reaching the thousands, waiting. The chaos spirit laughs cunningly. "Give up. You absolutely cannot conquer this tower." However, immediately after, its expression changes, eyes widening. They frantically try to stop him. "Hey, where are you going? You idiot, do you want to die? If you give up here, I will make a special exception and form a contract with you. You, form a contract with me. You will have a chaos spirit trying to persuade Yun Miang as effectively as possessing one. Why, form a contract with me? I will tell you the location of a world-unique piece of equipment. What about skills? I will give you the highest tier chaos system skill." According to his memory, the spirit tower determines the reward based on the gate entered. Passing through a fire gate yields a fire spirit token. A wind gate yields a wind spirit token. These tokens can be incubated to form a contract with a spirit of the corresponding attribute. The gate he entered is the Gate of Chaos, opened for the first time in Pangea. He thought he would receive a chaos spirit token as a reward. Yun Miang seems to have grasped the situation. Spirit tokens are rare to begin with, and this is the first time one's been obtained, so the chaos spirit token must be a top-tier reward. Yet, before even passing the trial, they are eagerly seeking to form a contract first. The more he thinks, the more determined he becomes. If that is the case, then beyond, there probably exists a reward even more valuable than the chaos spirit token. Now they can't help but yell. "A foolish choice, turn back, this is your last chance." Only now does Yun Miang stop and question. "Earlier you said there are many of the ones I faced back there, right?" It confirms again, "Yes. Don't tell me you plan to face thousands of those phantoms." He speaks as he continues walking. "It will definitely be difficult because I used up all my health potions fighting the ones here. But thanks to that, I have memorized their patterns to the point of nausea." Hearing this, the chaos spirit is slightly stunned. "What?" Yun Miang says haltingly, "Now I do not need health potions anymore." Saying this, he turns back with a confident smile. "I just need to repeat the patterns I have memorized from earlier thousands of times. If doing that lets me pass, then there is no reason to refuse." His words leave it dumbfounded for a moment. A second later, the chaos spirit laughs excitedly. Never expected a challenge based on such an absurd reason. Now, Yun Miang has also stepped through the door. Truly an idiot after my own heart. After stepping inside, he personally witnesses the space covered in a shimmering golden color. Yun Miang looks around suspiciously. This is when the notification appears again. Reached the tower summit. Main quest 3 completed. Summarizing content. Reading these lines, he can't help but feel puzzled. Quest complete. Immediately after, a ball of fire appears before Yun Miang. Finally climbed all the way up here. "Oh druid, congratulations. Your companions seem not to have arrived yet." He curiously probes. "What, start of the real trial? That was a lie, then." Now it confirms, correct. If the player chose to form a contract with a chaos spirit, you would never escape that place. Yun Miang slowly draws his sword. They are really good at deceiving people. The fireball explains, chaos spirits inherently adore deceit. Saying this, it then asks, "But you must have received the hint when passing through the gate, right?" Hearing this, Yun Miang understands, so that is what it meant. Now it does not beat around the bush anymore. After all, the conquest reward must be received. "Stretch out your hand, O druid." As he extends his hand, a surge of power draws it in, conquered the Chaos Tower. Granting Chaos Tower conquest reward. Yun Miang is still pondering inwardly. If it ends like this with nothing hidden, then the reward really is the Chaos Spirit token. Though a bit regretful, it is still a decent reward. However, what he receives is obtained Chaos Spirit token. Yun Miang widens his eyes in astonishment. His hand is enveloped by a black, void-like power. The system notification appears again. Hidden trait, celestial body. Countless feathers envelop. The system notification is also altered. After a moment, it returns to normal, obtained celestial spirit token. Yun Myong looks in amazement at the thing in his hand, his voice halting, carrying confusion. What is this?